Hello everybody, hello. We're here for the Blitzcup. Day 1 here on Apac. For those of you that are not aware, that's Asia Pacific. Now I notice in the chat there are a lot of Russians. So, очень приятно, мои русские друзья. Добро пожаловать на мой стрим. Это предел моего русского. Sorry, I have to speak in English from now on, but I give you a little bit of Russian. Anyway, I'm not the only good-looking person sat here today. I am being joined by both Amunet, say hello, and also Wild Ones Helper. He's also here. Say hello, Jack.
Hello, but I'm just not going to. You're not going to hear anything on my stream for a moment because I'm still playing the trailer. So.
Basically, what we have going on right now is that both Fujit and Jack are streaming this, so watch the perspective that you prefer. You will hear commentary from them both because they're doing it together, and I will be joining them in the middle with just like a little bit of analytics and just basically talking with them.
Right, yeah. I'm now here, so
excellent.
Now let me do the introduction for my stream. Hello everyone, welcome. And originally my stream my computer wasn't working properly, so we were on to a late start, but you are now going to be seeing the stream nice and clear. Hopefully everything is working fine. I mean, haven't been streaming for like a month, so I fingers crossed everything is working. So joining me is going to be Fujit and also Eminet, and we're going to have a lot of fun with the co-commentary and the analysis.
Absolutely.
Hello.
A couple of things, guys.
Just like standard administrative announcement, if you want to get rewards, make sure to watch through the portal of your server. Make sure that you are logged in. You need to watch for a minimum of 2 hours starting at the game's beginning, so to speak, to get all the rewards.
Indeed. And a couple of other things. We would love to interact with each and every one of you, but there's like 3,800 and something people watching my stream, and no doubt there's a similar amount watching Jack's stream. So it's pretty difficult for us to interact with you. We do see what you're saying in the chat, but there's no point because there's actually a delay as well of like 4 or 5 minutes because it's an official tournament. So if we ignore you, don't take it to heart. We're doing that because it's pretty difficult to interact.
Like so many positive ways, maybe we can't lose.
But
it's basically that delay always makes it hard to interact with people.
Oh, totally.
I mean, like,
the other thing is, the reason we're doing it this way is because you're going to find a similar format to this tomorrow for the big day. So what we're going to do is, before the games kick off, we will have Jack going through the teams and Amunet going through the maps and what we're going to expect. Then we'll get into the action. It is going to be best of 7, I believe, for these games. So we've got a lot of action here today on Apac for the Blitzcup. It's going to be exciting stuff, guys. We've got, different meta maybe creeping in. I don't know. Jack will tell us about that, and we'll probably have a chat about it. So what are you guys thinking? Because we've got some time. Jack, who are you looking out for on this server?
Looking out for, well, before I do that, let's actually talk about the format for this Blitzcup. It's going to be a double elimination format, and all games are played in best of 7, except the grand final, best of 9, but that's not going to matter tonight, because we're only following the upper and lower bracket first round. The maps are predetermined, and the maps, we're going to go through one by one very soon, but if you're on my stream, these are the maps. But anyway, talking about the teams, I'm just going to go quickly through the rosters and so on. The maps. Tonight we have Canal, Mayan Ruins, Navy Frontier, and Yukon for the upper bracket first round. And lower bracket first round we have Port Bay, Black Govi Upperstadt, and Winter Mayanovka. And previously we have Feast winning all 5 games. And it's really impressive, and I would say they are definitely the strong favorites. ID winning 3 out of their last 5 games, E7 winning also 3 of their last 5 games, and RN winning only 2 of the last 5 games, sadly. But it's like lose-win, 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 and their most recent game is a loss. So does that mean they're going to win following the pattern? We'll find out soon. Last 5 matchups, Feast versus ID, Feast won 4 of them, and the latest two games have been 4-0 victories for Feast.
So many positive ways. Maybe we can't lose.
Autumn, so definitely you will think Feast is going to have an upper hand here, but we are not totally sure. And also E7 against RN. It's also they also won. E7 also won RN 2 times 4-0 in the last 2 games, and also E7 won 4 of the last 5 matches against RN. So once again, E7 being the favorites to win this one tonight. And Eminet, why did you talk about the maps? What do you expect for the teams?
Well, we've got the room up now, actually.
In the maps.
To be fair, I'd like to talk about my own opinion of the teams first, if that's
Okay.
Now, to be fair, Feast has been a favorite for many, many years, but my heart is and always will be with E7. I will never forget the dear Disney princesses, and I will never forget the fact that they have been trolling us with names since the beginning of time, and as much as that makes me want to smack them up the head every now and again, it also makes me adore them. As for the maps though, we are starting it off on Canal, and judging by a statistic that Jack actually made, that basically looks at how teams have performed on this map throughout the autumn season. This would be E7's map if you look at how everyone has performed on it, followed by RN, and it's mostly ID that has not had the best of luck on Canal. So I'm very curious to see how that will go. Because we also know that in the autumn season we see very different things happening beforehand versus what happens in the finals, because they will not show all their trump cards.
No, I mean the thing is, I'll be honest, which type of gameplay are we going to see on Canal? Unfortunately, I haven't streamed any of Apac during the previous skill or the Pro Tour for Autumn, mainly because I was playing for Vale in the previous skill. But on the EU server, we see 2 different types of strategies for Canal nowadays. There's a very aggressive strategy, which is to get a hold of that B cap and prevent either the B or the C cap being taken whilst going to the A or the D cap. But we also have the older strategy, which is try to cap out those middle caps first, then drop into the Canal. I'd be interested to see what they do here on APAC. Are they going to go aggressive, or are they going to be more tentative? What do you think about that, Jack?
The teams.
The strategies.
I would say the strategies.
So many positive ways. Maybe we can't lose.
I mean, Canal is very based on the. It's very based on with the caps and such, so I would expect the teams to go very strategic with this. But it's also a staple map for all the teams, all the great teams, to do the rotations, practice their rotations, and so on. So I would say even if the team we're seeing tonight gets the cap lead, it's not a win for them yet. But those teams have practiced a lot and a lot of times to get the rotation right. So Canal is going to be great now.
I'm looking at the lineups here, and there's a lot of 50Bs, there's a lot of lights, there's a lot of very quick tanks there. The IS-7s are there as the heavies on both sides of the equation. So I mean that sort of suggests to me they're looking for mobility, ergo aggression, and positioning straight off the bat. Both teams, Feast and ID. Feast don't have as many 50Bs, but they've still got those 2 50Ms, 3 50Ms even.
Interesting. But it's Canal. We do see quite a couple of mediums and light tanks from time to time on Canal because it's such a big map, and also it's quite open as well. So this would definitely favor mediums and lights.
And I mean, what are your thoughts on this one? What strategy-wise, looking at those lineups?
I don't see the lines, but hearing what they pick, that does look very interesting, to be honest. Mainly, it sounds a bit weird because for me, one of the most effective things that we generally see in on Canal is basically a lockdown through base A. So the team that goes up in the north spawn, they will go up to A, cap B quickly, and then basically drop down, and they lock it down. And then people have to go through the sort of like the gap or into the ditch in order to get to them. And it is very tricky gameplay, but if you lock it down hard enough, it makes it very hard for the other team to be able to do anything. At the same time, with a lineup like this, that's very unlikely to happen. So
Yeah.
I'm really curious to see what they're going to pull.
Yep. And looking at the setup here, we are seeing Feast. Have we announced? I don't think we have announced that. Triple E50Ms and 50B, 60 TP, the first time we are seeing since the release. So, what are your thoughts about the 60 TP?
I like it as a tank. I don't think it's going to replace the U100, but it's certainly got the ability to do some nasty things out there. And I'm just looking at these 50Ms of Feast pushing into that decap straight out of there. Very aggressive movement around.
The IS-7s of both teams are very aggressive, but LDS, I think, might have trapped himself right here. Spartan looking to get a straight shot to LDS to go down first for ID.
Well, this is what I was expecting. I was expecting this very aggressive move, getting over those bridges, and getting into positions really quickly. And Feast have done that, but here comes ID.
The 50Bs really rushing in tandem, looking to get Elfsman all the way, and they did it. And the hit points are in favor of Feast for a brief moment, but both teams, the aggressiveness, the tempo was a lot quicker than I streamed previously on Asia server. So wow.
I mean, Sugar Magoo's got out there, but Necromant's not able to. So 2 tanks down here for Feast, but they do have the bases.
Yep, Spartan got C, and Fresh Lemonade trying to get Spartan here, but 1 versus 2 can't do much in this situation, but 5 versus 6, gun advantage is with ID at the moment, and they also have the area around D, so they might have the advantage with the map here.
Well, I mean, there's 2 caps already taken for Feast, and Feast have now effectively contained ID. ID have got to push, but they do have Spartan Sword there in that Vickers, and if you look, I think he's making his way around to the A cap, possibly.
Oh yeah, looking to get some shots onto the tanks near C. I mean, Trapwood and also Spartan. I mean, Feast, what they're trying to do, they're trying to park the bus, they're trying to retain the cap lead here. And Spartan's sort of got a hit.
Oh yeah, but that was good move by Juicy in the AMX to cut off Spartan's Sword there. I mean, that could have been a disaster for Feast. If Spartan's Sword could have got to that A cap unspotted, then they could have taken a double cap, because they could have easily got the D cap. They've forgotten the D cap though, and they're pushing. Wow.
Looking at ID, yeah. The triple 50 Beast looking to get Spartan out of the way. I think Shrapnel could be the next tank down. Trapple down to a 2-shot here. 1 shot, and Lanny with 3 shells in this clip could kill 2 tanks simultaneously.
Oh, 2 1-shots here. Trapple in Spartan. Down goes Spartan. Down goes Trapple. Feast are now definitely on the back foot. This is great stuff from ID.
Yup, great push. That push was very decisive indeed. And Smurf Potato in that 60 TP struggling to hold against 4 tanks, but Game's now killed by Sugar and Mugus. Now 3 versus 3, but Smurf Potato also being killed. So this is quite a pandemonium situation here.
Well, at the moment, it's 3 against 2, and to be fair, Sugar Magoo is in an E50M, which is great armoured if you're hull down, but not so much if you're not, and a 50B, which we all know isn't exactly the most armoured tank.
Yep.
So you would
Juicy
favour...
looking a bit...
Go on, Jack.
Sorry, Juicy's looking a bit discombobulated to find which tank to go for, either Van Persie or Lanny, and that really hurt him, and now being killed, Sugar Mugu being the last one standing, looking to have that kill shot onto Van Persie, wasn't bound, sadly, and Sugar Mugu would have to go down with regrets, sadly, and Feast would not get the first win tonight.
No, it goes to ID. So someone's saying that turn off your sub sound. I've turned it off. You're not seeing it yet though, guys, because there's a delay. But it has been turned off.
Right, so Feast, despite having the cap lead at one point, like 2 caps with ID with none, they weren't able to hold. I think also their the number of hit points they're working with is not a lot. Like they have a bit of trouble trying to retain that hit point pool lead, and I think credits go to ID in this one. Those 50B rushes are very amazing to watch, and they are very decisively rotated and decisively done, and I believe they have to keep that up. Both teams really upping the tempo now, and they don't want to hesitate in any moment, so great stuff here.
I mean, I was just looking at...
Right, so looking at...
Yeah, I was just looking at the damage dished out, and both teams doing good damage, but just that advantage being taken by ID. Some great stuff by them. Necromancer was just caught out at the back there, and those 50Ms moving in very quickly for Feast. The IS-7s as well moving in, but kind of backfired with that big push from ID. That was fantastic to see.
Yep, so looking now, we're seeing ID versus Feast here. ID going with triple 50Bs, an M60, well, maybe two. It's two M60Os, an IS-7 and I think it's like looking at Feast. Triple IS-7, a 60p, an FV4202, and a 60p. I just can't remember. They're doubling the 4202s and the E50M this time. So interesting to see what Feast is going to operate with double 4202s.
Indeed, I mean, but we're seeing here that the Yos are finally making a showing here on ID. Yep. So yep. I do like the Yo. I think it's a beautiful tank. Yep. But, it really can cause a lot of pain out there. I'd be interested to see if they're taking the 2-shot or the 3-shot, however. But at the moment, it's 1-0 to ID.
Yep, and Feast will not do a clean sweep against a Team ID, unlike during the professionals tournament, so ID definitely brought out that A game in the Blitz Apac. So looking at ID this time, looking to go to A, and Feast looking to go for C and D. So this is more like a conventional strategy for both teams, looking to get that cap lead this time.
Yep. And I've just noticed that my toolbar at the top is out of alignment. I'll sort it out in a moment, guys. Sorry about that.
Okay. All right, so let me do the commentary for you, maybe.
No, I can't. Feast not as aggressive this time, whereas ID slightly more aggressive, getting the B and the A cap. They are down on cap points though. Feast have got the caps advantage yet again. Yep.
And I believe with landing and fresh lemonade, they have to prevent bleeding more, because they are the team that needs to do the rotation, and that's because they don't have the cap lead, so they have to be really careful. They have to conserve the hit points, chip away hit points of Feast from time to time. They still have a lot of time though.
Yeah, I'm seeing here. This is the more of a traditional strat on Canal. Go for the caps nearest your base, nearest your spawn point. And then basically defend, and whoever gets the caps first generally gets to put the pressure on the other team.
Yep, but as I said, ID must have trained a lot with the rotations on Canal. As I always say on my stream, Canal is such a good map to train rotations and your communication. So ID, I'm actually interested to see what they're going to offer in this one.
I'm just seeing, I mean, Gayem there just getting spotted. That was not part of the plan. They wanted those 50Bs to stay unspotted, I think, in that corner. Yep. That's sort of giving their hand away a little bit, and you can see Necromancer's getting out there. The 60 TP of Smirt, Potato, and Trapple and the IS-7 are able to stand there now, knowing that there are only 3 50Bs. That's going to give Feast some important information.
Right. So ID fresh lemonade, taking a lot of hits. Like ID are hesitating this whether to push or not there. I mean, that hesitation really cost them a lot of hit points. Now Feast getting aggressive over to gain the 50Bs this time. The main reason why ID won last game this time could be the main reason why they lost, why they would lose this time round.
Possibly.
Yep. And Trapple now down to 1 shot. Big shot into fresh lemonade. Now Feast really losing some more hit points. Actually, now the hit points are getting a bit closer than I thought.
Campon really getting smacked about there.
And the 50Bs.
Down goes Campon. Down goes Trapple though, as these 50Bs and Fresh Lemonade in the IS-7 look to close down Spartan, and they do.
And that is true indeed. Now it's going to be a 5 versus 6. The gun advantage once again going for ID, but the hit points are with ID because they have killed our type. But Spartan's sword is now dead, so it's 5 versus 5 once again.
And
It's going to be
IDS is down
very
as well.
close. Yep, looking at it now, Smoke Potato getting isolated 4 versus 4. It's still anyone's game to call. I have no idea what's going to happen, but looking at Sugar Mugu, oh, it's a bounce onto KM sadly. They need to get that shot, those shots in. This is the most important minute for these two teams. They cannot afford to make big mistakes.
Well, Fresh Lemonade would be the target for any of the guys on Feast. He is a one-shot, and there's no... Juice is the lowest hit point out there, but Feast doing the right thing here. F Silver dropping into that B cap.
Yep. Yeah, that will be very crucial indeed. And Feast, 9 cap points per 2 seconds, so they are just a few seconds away from winning this. But ideally, they want Sugar Mugu out of the way. Can Sugar Mugu survive long enough? We're going to follow his perspective here. Lanny looking to put a shot onto Sugar Mugu. It's a bounce, sadly.
Oh.
Another shot.
But they've got the points. It's all about the points.
Yeah, it's all about a point. Sugar Mugu survived long enough not to be killed by ID, and F Silver dropping into B was super important for them. And ID,
My banners.
I think hesitation kind
Sorry
of
about the banner, guys.
hurt them.
Turn it off. I'm going to turn off the banner
sorry.
because it's just skewed. Anyway, so
Yeah, looking at the results here, ID with 2 tanks doing more than 2k in a Feast, 4 tanks doing more than 2k, and I think this time ID hesitated more than Feast, and it was very unlike last game where both teams were very decisive with their moves. In this game, I think they kind of hesitated a lot more, and this is not the match that we, not the performance we would like to see for both teams in the next few matches. A hesitation could cost you a lot of hit points, as we saw ID were under around 2,000 hit points of deficit at one point.
absolutely. So it's level pegging here at the moment. Coming out of Canal, even Stevens. Both teams managing to chalk up a victory. Moving now into Mayan Ruins. So, wow. How do you think they're going to play this one again? There's numerous strategies on Mayan Ruins.
I heard my stream broke.
Oh, really?
Let me just fix it. Yeah, I don't know. Let me just see what's happening.
Well,
I'll let you do the talking for now.
Okay. So Mayan Ruins, I haven't seen much of the action on Apac or Asia server as it used to be known, because I've been playing on the EU server, but you normally get a lot of action around that B cap, dropping one of those heavy tanks in there. So it'd be interesting to see how they work this. Looking at the lineups, well, we've got those 50Bs again. Will they be going over to that C cap? This is the thing. Is this going to be more aggressive, or is it going to be tentative around the middle area of the map? Only time will tell, because the thing is they have plenty of strats for multiple maps, so for various spawns. I mean, when we were playing, we have at least 4 or 5 strats for these spawns. So, anyway, off we go. As you can see, the 60 TP is making quite a nice showing, especially on the side of Feast. We've got 2 of them there, and Fresh Lemonade has also jumped into his 50 TP. So we're still with a very heavy meta. And as expected, we've got those 50Bs and Campon in the 50M heading towards that C-cap for ID. Moving around the map, the entirety of Feast, however, is heading for the middle area.
Okay, so my stream is actually not down. It's just the website being quite laggy. So I'm back, good looking at game here, looking to get a lot of spots in for ID. But interesting, Feast. I'm not sure what they're trying to do here, but we will see soon.
Well,
they're
down on cap points, but now they are going to send F Silver into the A cap. And I think they were expecting somebody to drop into that B cap. That's why they were lining their heavies up there, which is understandable because there was an IS-7 of Spartans on ID's team. So,
right.
But he didn't go there, basically. And the 50Bs and the 50M did go over to the C-cap, but Lanny just held back in his 50B. And as you can see,
now
Trapple's... Yep.
Going for B. It's now going for B, but will Fresh Lemonade has to reset shot. Oh, that was a bad miss, but Trapple's not bordering on B at the moment. But they still don't have the cap points here. We're talking about 5 cap points per 2 seconds of increase, so that's still a lot of time. We're still talking about around a minute to go for Feast to chip away enough hit points of ID for them to make a good push in the end.
Yeah, I mean, I think Trapple was jumping into the B cap there, but he wasn't anticipating Fresh Lemonade to be where he was, and it's the reason why he was unable to cap. And he's done the right thing getting into that corner, because nobody can really get shots on him there. And at the moment, both teams have had a sort of bit of a tussle, but that's about it. And ID do have the advantage with regard to those base points.
Yeah, and I mean, looking at here, ID tried to rotate with those 50Bs. They really love their triple B, 50B strategy here. And Feast doing pretty well in chipping away the hit points of ID. They're now leading by almost 2,000 hit points, so that will bode them well for a great push in the end, but still not over yet. It's all about a push in the end. And Spartan, Glacial into Spartan. Both Spartans doing damage with one another. Let's do it this way.
They are, but I'm now looking at what Sugar Magoo, Juicy, and F Silver are doing. They are looking to steal that C cap. Campon is the only one there in a 50M.
Oh yeah, and I think Sugar Mugu leading the charge. Camper needs to run away, takes a shot from Sugar Mugu, a track shot as well. Camper will run away relatively safely, but the shot is really not ideal.
But the thing is, Campon is spotted 3 tanks there.
Oh no.
So ID now know they've got an actual tank advantage in the middle area. And are they going to use it?
I think Campbell just went the wrong way when trying to run away and now being killed by Spartan. And both these already make a move. It's going to descend into Anarchy here. Trapple going to be quite low and Spartan's sword is going to take a hit. Trapple down to a 1-shot. And it's 7 versus 5. Hit points in huge little Feast right now. And it's really Feast games to lose.
Yeah, I'm surprised there, to be honest with you. I think you're right. I think Campon went the wrong way. But with three of the Feast tanks over that side, that should have given ID an advantage over in the middle and the A side area, which they really didn't capitalize on.
Nope, I didn't catch that area, so I presume they haven't made a big push in the end there, and that cost them the game, I would say. And now only triple 50Bs remaining with oh, Van Persie got ammo racked.
He did indeed, and you were about to say only 50Bs remaining, and one of them got ammo racked.
no, not. Oh yeah, Van Persie was in I thought it was on a Feast. But that wasn't going to be a game-changing kill there.
No.
So Lanny is going to be killed. And
IDS is the last man standing.
Yeah. What a game it was for Feast. Feast is now back in full force. ID showing their own self a little bit here. I think we're missing the ID we saw in the first match. It was a really good ID there, but this, I think, the lack of action. I don't know if they have, they were slow in the middle, but Feast killing Campon and making a move over. I think they did something in the middle as well, so that they're able to hold for a longer time, and they were able to wait for the rest of the team from the R side to rotate and get ID's forces out of the match.
Wow. Well, look at that there. I mean, I really would have thought that ID would have had a bit of advantage in that middle area, but Feast really punishing them with what 6,000 damage difference. That's a lot at this level.
Yep, 6,000. It's pretty amazing. Although, like as I always say, I would rather want to see 7 players doing more than 2K. We seldom see it, but that is a good indication of the team working really well with one another, and and all the players are important. But 6,000 is equally impressive in terms of being the carrier for the team. But Looking at Feast this time, they are looking to take double 60 TPs of VK 72.01K, double I7, double M60Os, and ID. They're ditching their triple 50B strategy. Now going for their favorite E100s. They're taking 2 of them this time.
Yeah, and VK72 making a showing. Do like the VK72.
Oh yeah, I actually made a term for the cheeks of VK 72.01 when you put a shot in there that you are Guanciale that trying that VK 72.01K. So what it means is that the cheek can be quite soft for the VK 72.01K. It really needs a lot of skill to angle it up nicely. Well, otherwise, this is probably the weak spot that I would be going for.
And it's the Rotkopf camo that he's wearing, which is great. So I'm getting a lot of notices that the portal doesn't seem to be working for some reason.
Oh yeah, that's why I got a ping from Wutsu saying it's my stream was broken, but it was the portal that was broken, not my stream. So my stream is going nice and dandy. So let's see. Looking at Lanny in that IS7, all spawning little tanks of Feast. They know where Feast are going. Great HE splash to Juicy. Both of them looking to get B. What's happening? What happened?
No, I was just thinking, it's an IS7 face-off here, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
Lanny and Juicy doing his best to level up against the IS4, but Lanny is able to get some great shots into the rear. But will he be able to take that B-cap? No, he cannot. And Juicy may not last long.
Spartan looking to land that bank shell. No, it's a bounce. And Juicy now killed by Fresh Lemonade. Now very quickly, 6 versus 7 within a minute of the game here. And Feast already a gun down. They really need to get a tank out of the match. And so far they haven't been able to do so. Great shots in the camp, however.
It is. I mean, but Feast do have the base advantage here. They don't have the point. Well, they do have the point advantage now as it just clicks over, but they don't have the gun advantage. But they are whittling down the hit points here of ID. Lanny looking very worse for wear. So is Campbell.
Yeah. But Smart Potato with that bounce right there onto Van Persie. Van Persie kills Spartan.
Spartan goes down. Has a bit of a brawl over in the middle area, just above that B-cap.
Yeah. I thought there was a Naval wreck on Spartan. It wasn't the case, but looking at ID now getting aggressive with game. Spartan saw it, also LDS. The hit points are still in favor of ID at the moment. Next to a great shots game, and Feast really struggling to hold right now with those tanks in the middle.
Oh, down goes the E100 of Spartan. But can they close down Sugar Magoo here?
Looking to get, and they did, and Feast going to close down Van Persie as well, down to 1 shot here. Oh, Van Persie with a terrible bounce onto Smoked Potato.
That could be costly.
Feast could be costly, yeah.
No!
But ID still with a lot of hit points.
The 60 TP is on his long reload now. Should be able to be taken down by Van Persie. There he goes. Leaving F Silver as the last man standing.
I think Feast got quite nervous in this match. They've scored so many bounces in this match, and ID really punishing them hard. And LDS looking to put a shot into F Silver. F Silver rotating his turret, looking for LDS, but Fresh Lemonade coming from behind would not be enough. F Silver goes down 2-2.
And coming out of Mayan Ruins, even Stevens again. Wowzers.
Yep.
So, a couple of things for the stream. Guys, if you look in the bottom corner, which you can see, it says that the stream is the FPS is 60. And OBS and YouTube are also telling me that the FPS is going out at 60. So, you're having a disconnect and lag with the portal, I think you'll find. So,
also just want to point out the portal is working fine, but apparently whenever you go to another screen for however shortly, even if you're just switching apps just to check a message or whatever, it already gives you the notification of you're back with us. So basically you lose seconds of the stream. So the portal is very sensitive to you not being on the screen.
So.
Okay. We're now on to Naval Frontier here. Feast already ready with this lineup, seeing a triple Y7 once again going for a double 60 TP and a 50B. And because we're waiting for ID, they're going for the triple 50B strat, or are they going for double E100 strat, or are they doing a mix of both?
Well, Naval Frontier is always an interesting map because it's got so many possibilities. Are they going to go for the C cap and try and hold that area with overlook on the B cap? Are they going to go for an aggressive move through the B cap to try and get into the other side spawn? Or are they going to take their hull down tanks, of which there aren't many I'm seeing on Feast team at the moment, around to that A cap? It all depends. I mean, Feast are spawning on the North spawn, so looking at their lineup, it could be. I don't know if I'd love to say it was going to be a C strat.
Okay.
Not really.
Okay, so I digress for a brief moment here. If some of you cannot watch the stream on the portal, possibly if you're seeing a grey screen, possibly you have disabled your targeting cookies. So make sure you enable the targeting cookies in order to watch the stream and get your rewards. So, end of my digression.
Yeah, it's going to be, like I said, I like Naval Frontier. It's always a great map. There's lots you can do here. There's lots of great positioning. I'd be interested to see how they play this one. It loads, and here we go. Feast are looking towards the C cap, which is what I expected with those tanks. A cap is more akin for the haul down Yos and stuff like that.
Okay, let's follow F Silver here. He's going to go into this usual bush here, trying to get spots up, trying to spot whoever's trying to cross into A, but ID's going the other way instead. But the Fresh Lemonade and Elias are both spotted, so Trap will be quite aggressive here.
This is going to be brawly. Both teams going for the C strat. It's going to be brawly. It's going to be brilliant. There's going to be a lot of trading here. Look at Trapple pushing around onto IDS here with Sugar Magoo. Game is there waiting for them. What a great move.
Yep, we're looking at Cam and also Van Persie trying to push onto Juicy here. They might have the terrain advantage with the control over the bridge area, but but let's follow Cam. Oh, failed to push up, so Juicy's able to run away from this, and now the hit points are in favor of Feast. Sugar Magoo gets smacked.
And down he goes. Yep. That is a big loss. Big loss. IDS now ready to load in. Gam will be loaded. They're going to be able to put a lot of pain into Trapple here.
Through the big shot into Gam. Oh, Trapple also received a huge hit here. Now down to a one shot now.
Getting out
run
of
away
dodge.
safely. Yeah.
He can, but look at Smirk Potato. He's not looking good either. He's in a really bad position there. He's going to go down.
Yep, Spawn Source looks for that shell in, and it will be the case. And LDS, I don't know if you put a shot into Necromancer, but Necromancer is getting focused by
down goes Trapple.
Yep. And once again, ID with the hit point pool lead, Fresh Lemonade down. LDS also killed. There's still a chance for Feast, but it's going to be interesting to see.
I'm just watching Game and Spartan cross swords here. Game's got one shot left. Now he's on his long reload. Spartan should be able to finish him off here. Game's getting out there, but it's a great shot from F Silver into the back of Game. Van Persie's coming to help out. He will be able to finish off Spartan. Bottom plate, there we go.
Juicy's killed, and that leaves F Silver, the last person standing, campered, getting a circle of death here. And it's not going to be that important, but that shot right here onto F Silver could be very crucial. And now it's going to be a 1 versus 3. Are you trying to get C here? Can F Silver do a Kolobanov?
I would say if it was just if Van Persie wasn't in an IS-7 with 1400 hit points, I would say it's possible. But unfortunately, Van Persie is very healthy.
Yeah, but Gabe will be killed by F Silver, and Spartan's looking to put a knowledge onto F Silver, down to one shot now. F Silver looks to get a great shot on Spartan's sword. Will kill off F Silver.
What
and ID on the match point.
What a tussle.
ID on the match point.
But they are indeed. And as I said, if it was, I mean, it was a great move by F Silver, to be honest with you. Focusing the right tank of Gayam, getting him down, but really well howled by Spartan Sword in the 50B. Not the easiest thing to shoot into a full pout Vickers, to be fair.
Yep. Both teams having 4 tanks to more in 2K, so that's really good for both teams. However, I think a huge reason why ID won in this one is that they controlled the bridge area, which gave them quite a lot of terrain advantage here. And also they were able to shut down Suga and Mugu very quickly. So this is pretty much all about positioning the Naval Frontier. And Feast would definitely be feeling the pressure now.
Well, Feast this time taking those 2 Yos, they are great for haul down, so it gives them a lot more options. Depends which they've got. They've got the 2-shot or the 3-shot. It used to be a lot of people took the 2-shot. Now the 3-shot is making a lot more because that DPM is fantastic. Looking at the way ID are lining up, well, they're still they're sticking with 2 Yos as well. Well, sorry, yeah, they're bringing in another Yo. And it's almost even Stevens, with the exception of IDS in the E100, of course.
Yep, and yeah, it's the lineup looks pretty even. I think this is pretty much the lineup we would be expecting in a professional tournament. But let's say Fee's not taking a light tank or medium tank at all. I think that could be the main difference here. ID, Spartan Sword, will be handed a lot of responsibility in this match, I have to say.
Oh, totally.
And we're now back on Naval Frontier, looking at Feast and ID. I mean, Feast F Silver taking the old Feast clan logo avatar. I love that avatar. I don't know which version do you like better. Do you like the old or new?
I like both of them, if I'm being honest.
Yep. And now we're going to be seeing Spartan Sword. Let's follow Spartan Sword. He's the only light tank in this match. Feast going en masse to A, but Spartan Sword could spot them all here.
Oh, the I-7 to Spartan and Trapple doing the aggressive push through the B cap area, try and get up onto their backs. But I don't know, because ID have sent a lot of their tanks towards the A cap as well. And this could be, they could get Spartan and Trapple into a crossfire here, and Feast could lose 2 IS-7s very quickly.
True indeed. I mean, ID already rushing almost, but that also means Feast will look to shut down Percy very quickly, but Feast could lose 2 tanks very soon. Lanny takes a big hit for a Smoked Potato, and Trapple will be killed now. It's now with 5%. Percy's still alive here, and that can be very important.
But now Smoked Potato is out on a limb, isolated, and this allows ID to do the aggressive strat through the B cap into the spawn of Feast, and maybe able to take down another tank. But Van Persie has gone down in the IS-7. However, it's Lanny is coming to help Spartan Sword to take out Smoked Potato. Gayam and Fresh Lemonade pushing round to trying to help and relieve the pressure on Campon and IDS.
Yep. Feast getting a bit disorganized right now. I think they have a couple of tanks trying to support Smoked Potato. But if I were Feast, I would have gone for those the LDS and also Campon instead. So that can be important.
Oh, but Feast are bringing it round. They need to close down Campon here. Do ID to stand in a chance with it, and they do. And down goes Smoked Potato as well. It's 3 against 4. And ID do have the hit point advantage and the gun advantage.
Yep, and now Necromancer looking for, I don't know, he's turning the tank, and Fresh Lemonade, great shot into Necromancer, down to 1 shot, however, and I looking to get F Silver out of the way now. Lemonade
goes down, however. At the same time, so does F Silver. It's now 2 against 3. It's the 60 TP in the IS-7. The IS-7 of Juicy is very healthy, and they will be looking to try and close down Necromancer more than the IS-7. Leave the IS-7 to last, guys.
Fastest with that bounce onto Juicy, but with that important, Campon receives a big hit from Necromancer. Juicy looks to put a shot into Campon, and it's a bounce, sadly. Spartans all looking to kill
Yeah.
Necromancer, leaving
Game,
Juicy the last.
Game was able to unload his entire clip into the 60 TP there, and that's a lot of damage coming in.
Yeah, and I think ID will be rejoicing because they will be winning 4-2 and will be advancing to the upper bracket final. And Feast will know which clan they're going to meet in the lower bracket first round soon. There we go, GC, the last person, and he's still trying to get shots in, but will be killed by Game now. 4-2 for ID, and congratulations to ID.
Great stuff, though. I felt sorry for the two IS7s there of Feast. I mean, it's a good strat to use, but I don't think they anticipated ID's team going all the way to the ACAP, and they would just be able to put the brakes on, turn around, and really punish those two IS7s.
Yeah, I think ID, the last two matches we've seen them being a lot more decisive, and their positioning are better as well. I think this match, Feast, they looked very confused. They looked very disorganized after they've killed Van Persie, I believe, and they have actually 2 tanks they could kill with like 5 tanks they have at that area, but they've chosen to support 4 tanks. I mean, support Smurt Potato instead, which kind of wears Feast's line of thin, and ID was able to pincer Feast forces in the end, and I think that really hurt Feast here.
Oh, let's find out. Let's see if we can drag Amunet in. She's been watching the games in the background.
Okay.
Well, yeah, but I'm still watching the last game, so I'm not entirely there yet.
Well,
But
she'll let us know.
Overall, I did find that Feast, the last few games, it seemed like Feast lost mainly because they were just too aggressive. Their tanks get caught out in positions that they have no backup, and ID just basically capitalized on that.
Yeah, they did. I mean, it was absolutely fantastic stuff to watch. It was swings and roundabouts for a long time until we got to Naval Frontier, and you know we saw in Mayan Ruins and on Canal it could have gone either way, but Naval Frontier that was it. It was just all ID. So.
Which is kind of funny, to be honest, because according to the map statistics that Jack pulled, Naval Frontier is, of the 4 maps that we had in this round, ID's worst map.
Oh wow! So
that is interesting to me, because they definitely turned that around here.
Well, they
Definitely no.
They've probably done a lot of work on it, thinking that it's our worst map. Let's work on it a lot, and they've probably done a lot of work on that map.
But not just that, I think, and I mean, I love Feast, don't get me wrong. I think it's also because Feast made big mistakes on this map. So it's not just ID being better, it's also ID just really reacting to whatever mistakes Feast made.
And I have to agree with you on that one. I mean, the reaction from ID in the last game we just saw with the 2 IS7s pushing through was spectacular.
Yeah.
And that was a game changer. Losing those 2 IS7s that early, and it's not like it's not a recognized strat. That is a recognized strat to push through aggressively like that with your heavies. Not normally from that side of the map, to be fair. Normally from the other side of the map, but it's the way ID managed to just turn it around and really pile on the pain. That I think you're right there. I mean, 100%.
Also, just to say, the people that are getting a grey screen on the portal, you need to accept all the cookies. Because despite Jack already saying that, I still see comments about that. So go to the cookie settings on the portal, accept all the cookies, and then try again, basically.
Or just the targeting cookies. You just only need to enable one of them, and that's targeting cookies. I don't know what it is in our languages. So just like
that's why I say all cookies, because that actually makes it simpler for the people that are trying to figure it out.
Yeah, But if you're worried about your data being stolen, then just disable all the cookies after watching our streams.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So for me, the portal is working fine. I've been watching since like a minute after, but yeah, it is very sensitive as to whenever you leave the screen for whatever reason, the timer stops, and then you have to click OK for it to start again. And that's different with the portal things that we had for the professionals. It would start counting even though you had the pop-up, and that is not the case right now. So people are having a lot of portal issues. I like that you got like the screenshot for the secret to win footage.
Yeah, you see that?
Just made it onto the stream.
Yeah, I got that. So you've caught up now
But
with
yeah,
all the games.
overall, I found the matches quite chaotic. I mean, I'm used to that from the Asia server. I would have been very worried if it was different. But it makes it a little bit hard to talk about specific tactics and everything, because a lot of it is just, oh, there's a tank there, let's shoot them. And of course there's tactics in play, but the game changes are mainly just the tanks that are in a position where they can get shot at. It's less of a tactical role game around the map, basically, that we tend to see on EU, for instance, and more of an
Reactionary.
getting that gun advantage early.
And also the reactionary gameplay we're seeing in the previous matches, which I think it's really good to see, because if you can react well, you can react quickly to what the enemies are doing and get the advantage from that,
Yeah.
then I think it's actually better than being tactical, to be honest. Or maybe it's part of the
is true.
tactics.
When it comes to watching games, I prefer the tactical gameplay. I just love seeing that. What are they doing? What are they thinking? And just basically the whole anticipation game. And that's something that you don't see a lot of in Asia. It is pretty brawly. And nothing wrong with that, don't get me wrong. It's just very different.
I mean, CIS is even more brawly, I can assure you. So I can't wait for next week, to be honest with you, to see how the games are going to pan out. Like, I have to watch some of the streams, so maybe I'll follow Left 4D and also Power Blast. When I have time, I'll have a look at those streams. But I will expect some really crazy games next week.
Same.
I mean, the thing...
It's gonna be great.
Yeah, it will.
Yeah.
I can't wait. But the thing I've taken away so far from today, I mean, Feast... In the first, let's go back to the first game on Canal. Again, they were. It was like their last game. They were very aggressive, and because of their aggression, ID were able to react better and quicker. Feast then calmed down for the second game. They were not so aggressive, and they were more controlling of the map, and therefore, I think they feel better as a team when they're controlling the map. And I don't know if outright aggression is a sort of tactic that suits Feast as such at this level. Against lower order clans, maybe, but at this level where the other clans are able to react a bit quicker, I think it sort of throws Feast off their mojo, so to speak.
Or
It
maybe,
does.
of course, potentially it's just that Feast was trying to gamble with their aggressive strats, but they weren't able to provide support. And I think that is the main difference here, why they're actually losing games. We do see some really great teams playing really aggressively at the start and winning them against some really extraordinary teams. But what they've done better is that they provided better support and they reacted better when the other team responded to what they are doing.
It's kind of like a no guts, no glory tactic, and it can work for them. But when you get caught very early on, like for instance, the last couple of matches that we saw, basically because you're being aggressive, you get caught on a position where you are going to lose teammates. You're going to get spotted going there, regardless of what you do, basically, and that is very risky. And it's generally, like with previous seasons as well, that is sort of like Feast's weakness. That is where they lose the games, because then they play the game of the other team rather, and the other team just has to respond.
No, that's sort of what I was getting at. So intriguing. Just want to ask both of you as well. What do you think about the meta? Because we have a very heavy meta, but we've seen Feast predominantly here taking 50 M's. So
that's Canal. It's different.
Yeah, but we have seen, you know, they're still taking the heavy meta. We still get that, but is there going to be a sea change eventually? Are we going to go back to a mixed bag of the meta? Do you think, or is it going to be always going to be the heavy meta at the moment?
Well, to be fair, this is something where I also find Asia server different. They always have a different meta compared to the other servers. And in this case, I'm more surprised at the at sort of like the juicy picks of tanks. Like the E50M is not juicy as far as mets go, but as far as tanks go, it is.
Yeah.
So it is tricky. I mean, I'm no expert, I'm no pro player. It's not a tank that I would pick a lot, because I find that there's tanks that do it more reliably. That being said though, we have seen the tank make an appearance on other servers as well, so it could go every which way. But I think that other servers will use more Yos, more IS-7s, like the meta that we've seen in the professionals more.
Yeah.
I would actually say I don't think there will be a shift in the meta soon. I think it's still going to be pretty much heavy tank dominant. Although we are seeing a little bit more of mediums or lights, but that I don't think it's consistent, because the M6 is really making a huge showing here. And I think I said before, I think it's currently the best choice for an auto loader or auto reloader. So I think other tanks there are some apparent weaknesses, but M6 probably has a few weaknesses compared to other tanks.
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong, the Yo is incredibly strong. It's got, you know, that armor on its turret and on its front is very strong indeed, and it's got a lot of DPM. And you know, until they do something about that, like they did with the Kranwagen, we're going to continue to see Yos in a lot of respects. Not so many IS-4s in Kranwagens, if you notice.
No, it's the IS-7 buff that's made the IS-7 competitive again. You have
Absolutely.
I do expect to see quite some 60 TPs. At the same time, I feel that the 60 TP is way more OP in randoms than it would be in tournaments.
Oh, I actually don't think 60 TP is good in randoms. I'm struggling a lot with 60 TP currently. I think E100 does a better job for me.
Yeah, but it's also, like right now, you still have the factor of people are not really completely aware of the armor profile yet. So you tend to get more bounces on the 60 TP than you will in, like, let's say 3 months from now.
Yeah.
But when you have pro players, that is different. They know how to shoot something.
And also, like the gun, I think the gun was quite inaccurate from my experience with 60 TP. So to be honest, I don't think 60 TP is going to. Yeah, I don't think 60 TP is going to become a mainstay for tournaments, and I certainly think some teams might not even use that stack at all.
Yeah, I mean,
it's also like what they're comfortable with.
Yeah, there is that. I mean, there's a lot of. I mean, the 60 TP. I mean, as Aminet says. I mean, I've played it a fair few times in randoms, and on the day it was released, and I got 2 aces in a row because people don't know how to counter it. But for a tournament tank, well, I'm not a pro player, but I don't know if it's a perfect fit. It is a fit because it's new, but will we see that once the players get more used to it? I don't know, is the honest answer. Whereas the Yo,
right?
Yo definitely. I mean, the Yo is the Yo. It's just
reliable.
Absolutely, it is. It's you know, since the Kranwagen's had its slight nerf, no one's going to take a Kranwagen over a Yo. I mean, why would you? Realistically.
Yep. We also now have around 20 minutes left to go to talk about the next game. So let's talk about the next game. E7 versus RN.
Hey, princesses.
Yes. Should I begin? Should I begin introducing the teams?
In a lot of respects, I'm looking to you, Jack.
No. Yes.
Right. Okay, so I think I said it before. E7 versus RN. 4 wins for E7 out of the last 5 matchups. The last 2 matchups ending a 4-0 victory for E7. But as we saw, for Feast versus ID, last 2 times Feast won 4-0 against ID. ID won 4-2 in the end. So does that mean there is a chance for RN? Well, we don't know. There is a good chance. So going back further, we have, as I said before, E7 currently winning 3 games out of their last 5 games, and RN only winning 2 of their last 5. So RN is really not having a good form at the moment, but that doesn't count because both teams, and as well as Feast and ID, have around a month to train. So a lot of things can happen between this period. So I don't know.
And don't forget, as
yeah.
soon as a team realizes that they are very likely to get into the top 8, they're not going to show their trump cards. You always see different things happening in the final stages than you do in the professionals.
Yep, and we could also see the maps. we're back with the same map pool here. So it's Canal, Mayan Ruins, Naval Frontier, and Yukon. So time for Eminet to talk about what do you expect for these 2 teams.
To be fair, looking at all the 4 maps, so we have Canal, Mayan Ruins, Naval Frontier, and Yukon, of course. They're not that far off. Like, RN has a higher win rate on Yukon than E7. For the rest, E7's is better than RN's. But they're not that far away from each other. So I think it's more of this day we are we're synced better, so it works out better. It sounds more like that than is like a map dominance. And from what I see, both Canal and Naval Frontier are maps that, statistically at least, they are fairly strong in. So it's going to be really interesting to see this, mainly because it's just they're relatively close, and it just makes it more exciting in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think RN would hope that it goes to a tiebreaker, so that's they're going to be playing in their stronger map, I would say, or maybe not. We can't tell because E7 might also know that Yukon is one of their weaker maps, so they might be trained on that map a lot. But as I would see, I think it will be a pretty close game to call. What do you think, Fujin?
Well, I mean, unfortunately, as I said, because I was playing majority of the time in the PYS for Vale, for the Vale second team, I didn't get much opportunity to see how the Asian guys were doing. So I'm very interested to see how these 2 match up. E7 E7 Uprising, I don't know what we prefer to call E7 or just Uprising. They've come a long way, to be honest with you. They have come a long way, and it's been interesting to watch their progress. So they're firing really well. RN have been a bit of a mixed bag. They've always been there and thereabouts, but never really been able to get it over that last hurdle. I'm glad they're here, but I want to see them do something more, if you know what I mean.
I know. I've been considering RN last year. They crumbled in the professionals tournament. They lost all of their games, if you remember.
Correct.
Last year, RN.
Yeah.
And I was feeling very sorry for RN, but this year in the autumn season professionals tournament, they made sure that won't happen again. And I'm glad they are now in the top 4. They showed some really amazing performances during the professionals tournament. So RN is a force to be reckoned with, obviously.
Yeah, and this is what I'm hoping for. I mean, RN have always been a good team. there's just that they've never really produced the goods at the top level. And that's what I'm wanting to see. I want them to pull out the goods now. I hope they've been holding it back. But don't underestimate E7 Uprising. As I said, they've come a long way, and they've been impressive. They've been impressive.
They won the spring season as well this year, so and they came second in the summer season as well. So they are a terrifyingly strong team, and you do not want to make major mistakes against E7 at all. And what was I was trying to talk about? I just forgot. I'll try to recall. Eminette, do you have anything else you want to talk about?
I am very curious to see how E7 plays, because they are a very unpredictable team usually. And the thing that we know is that last spring season, Maddox had left Feast and was on E7. So that also makes a big difference, because you also saw basically E7's general chaotic, like total chaos gameplay suddenly changed more into Feast gameplay. And you do see Maddox hand in there, and that doesn't mean it is still a team. They do still need to do it and make it happen and everything. But it's interesting to me, at least, to see the team turn around and change like that. But with the summer season, you saw that it became more of a mixture of the old E7 with the new sort of like Feast influence. And I'm really curious to see. I've not seen them play yet this season, but I love the chaos that E7 brings. And it's again a bit of a no guts, no glory kind of thing. But because they are just so unpredictable, and you're like, wait, what? That just makes it really funny to watch. And funny as in good fun, not as in I'm laughing at it. But it's just interesting to see because of that.
Yeah,
to me at least.
I remember what I wanted to say. RN is the only top 4 team that doesn't have a custom clan logo here. E7 Feast and ID all have their own custom clan logo. So I think I really want to see RN getting at least the top 3, because the 4th place would not get their custom clan logo, and you only get the chance to get your custom clan logo every year. Just only one chance. So RN doesn't want to mess this up.
So
and winning against E7 would certainly.
I was just going to say,
certainly guarantee a clan logo.
I mean, this is Asia, and a lot of people won't realise that a lot of these clans are sort of area specific. So RN, where are they from again, Jack?
They're from Japan.
So they are a predominant or total Japanese team.
I remember they're totally Japan. They're totally Japanese.
In
I
ID,
could be wrong, but
I think
I
ID are Korean, are they not?
Yeah, they are totally Korean.
And then I think Feast is from around the region.
International and E7 as well.
So Feast and E7 are more international.
I think that's interesting as well, because we have had we have more national teams on EU as well, with Apac and Raid, for instance, to name the biggest examples. But it is, I always feel that it's a bit of a risk, because you narrow down the player pool that you can choose your players from. At the same time, the language barrier on Asia will be a lot bigger than it is on most servers. I always basically and I know that with, I think it's RN as well, but also ID, they really struggle with English. So being able to talk in their own language and make it work that way is in that case an advantage to them.
And just on that point, I mean, last year Blitzcup was won by HLV. I can't remember if are they a Japanese clan as well? I think they are. I can't remember.
Yes, they are.
And HLV have struggled to sort of find that form of glory, and obviously they're not in this year's Blitzcup, so they're not defending their crown, so to speak. But I mean, one of the things that we've always had with Asia is that the language barrier is huge. It's big. It's massive. Mm-hmm. And it's
yes.
People always say, "Oh, it's the smallest of all the servers," and it is the smallest of all the servers. But when you've got not one dominant language, like in Europe, at least most of the people speak either French or English to an extent. So you have a language that is almost common. Same on the NA server. You don't really have that with Asia. So I can understand why you get more national clans, which I think is fantastic, by the way. But as it says, you then struggle with the recruitment side, but it's great that you still have it.
It goes both ways.
Yeah.
It's a pro and a con at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, talking about HLV, I have to say I think the second last day on professional tournament we saw HLV fighting until their very last breath to get into the top 4, and I think that day it ended tiebreakers for HLV, and I think they lost both of them. It was very sad, but that day was, it was so important for GV, HLV, and ID, and in the end, ID came up on top. And I think HLV this year, it wasn't the best year for them. I think they didn't get top 4 in winter, and I certainly remember they didn't get top 4 in spring and also summer as well.
Yeah.
So HLV really didn't have that best year. Maybe next year they will have a better chance, but HLV hasn't really been their best form as of late.
Yeah, like I said, which is a shame because they are the current champions. They are still the champions until we get a new champion, which will be probably tomorrow. So they are the current champions of Asia server. So it's just a shame that they just didn't. They've not been firing on all 4 cylinders, to be fair, since their win. And for those of you watching on the stream, this is a Amaraka 60 TP, by the way. Just like that.
And in the meantime, I'm still seeing a board stick game, so that's actually kind of funny.
Exactly.
Right.
No, but it's. I like that all the servers are getting different sort of showcases right now. At the same time, I can't wait for us to just go back to having an actual offline and everything. Because to me, I've been to a few by now, and it's just meeting the players elevates the whole experience of, Blitzcup in this case. But it just makes everything absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
But I also think that's a great thing, whereby you're not playing a team that you're used to. You're now playing a team from a completely different server, and as much as people like to think that all the servers are pretty similar, they're not. They're all different. The gameplay on NA is not the same as EU, which is not the same as CIS, which is not the same as Asia. And when you've got these top clans rolling out against each other, and they're not used to that, it makes it so much more entertaining viewing. Not that this isn't entertaining. I love this. The Blitzcup is brilliant. These are the top clans for their region at the pinnacle of the game, and it's fantastic to watch how they play this. And for those people out there who've never really played at this level of the tournaments, not that I have, but I've played the recent PYSs. It's the reaction times is so much different. It's really how can I say it? It absolutely drains you physically and mentally. It's really is so draining. The concentration levels required is huge, and that was just PYSs. So when you're then getting to a level where there's a lot of real life cash up for grabs, they are going to be holding either their iPads or iPhones or whatever devices they've got that a little bit tighter. And when you do hold that device a little bit tighter, the game gets a little bit harder.
Yeah, I really want to see how much these 4 servers have evolved ever since 2019. And I think 2 servers that I think would be the most surprising would be NA and also Asia. I think we've seen both servers coming a huge way from what they were from 2019. I mean, we all follow these 2 servers. We know how far they have come.
I'm also very curious to see how that would hold up in a new offline, because right now we're seeing them in basically their own habitat, so to speak.
Yeah.
Which is very different, because Asia teams on offlines have generally been lagging a little bit because it is harder for them to train, because you have less competitive clans. So you have less chances to work with other teams to grow your own potential and everything. And at the same time, you got the language barriers, you got the massive ping issues that pretty much Asia server always has.
Yep.
And don't forget that when you're at an offline, you're suddenly on different internet. And that is something that you have to take into account as well, because if you're used to playing with, like, let's say 200 ping, and you're suddenly playing on 50 ping, that does not go well. Even though, like, the situation is way better, you're used to your reaction having that 100 ping delay. So you play differently. And it's stuff like that. People often forget that, and I think that that's also one of the reasons why Asia server has the biggest disadvantage when it comes to offlines.
Yep.
That's a good thought. To be honest with you, I haven't really thought of that either, whereby obviously when you go to the offlines, yeah, you're on very good internet and, you know, the ping is next to nothing. Whereas, as you say, on Asia, it could be anywhere, depending on where you are in Asia.
Exactly.
It's a good thing, good thought that. I hadn't thought of that at all.
I know. I've started thinking about this stuff because I used to have a clanmate that lived in the middle of nowhere in Scotland and played with 700 ping. But the 700 ping was steady. So, yeah. But when he dropped down to another city and just suddenly had, like, good internet and everything, he'd make it work. But it would take some time to get used to that.
Yeah.
Because suddenly his shots were going where he actually wanted them, like, really easily and stuff. So that's kind of like, it made me think about it, because that is basically Asia service the most widespread of the service in that way.
Yeah. It's intriguing.
True. We are now in the room, so we're
are
back to Canal RN. Oh, we have a room. Are you not in a room?
No. You have to see that replay later, but it's an ace
I didn't
anyway,
see.
so don't worry about it.
Oh my gosh. If I didn't...
let's go join the room quickly then, because I think you have 2 minutes before the game begins.
Oh,
Yes, 2
plenty of
minutes
time.
before the game begins. So.
See, there was me
Yeah.
thinking we have 20 minutes,
We're looking
because
at
Jack said there
Canal.
was 20 minutes, and it was 10.
Well, did I do the math wrong? I think time just passes for you.
But we're here, don't worry.
Okay,
We're in the
I'm gonna look at
room. We're in the room.
Realm. Yeah, I can see you
Right.
now.
I'm gonna mute myself again. I'll see you after the matches.
See, looking at the setup, we are seeing RN, no Diva
Like
coming
so
back
many
online.
players.
160 TP double M60 50 BI7 TVP and the mouse. E7 going for double I7 the T22 triple
Like so many
TP and
players. We can't lose.
It's going to be intriguing. I mean, we got E7 on the north spawn and RN on the south spawn. And as you said, I mean, we've got a mouse making a showing here for RN. Don't think we saw a mouse in the first matchup with Feast and ID. In fact, we didn't. Not on this map. And obviously a TVP. I do like the TVP. Don't know if I like it as a soul tank. Wadu there, running out in the TVP. Great tank, great DPM, incredibly long reload, and easily penned. But good mobility. So it'd be interesting to see how RN are going to play this one, looking at that lineup.
Yep. RN. I was about to announce a lineup once again, and that was kind of
Yeah, you've already done it once.
But a TVP, we don't see that often. And only one of them. I think TVP has become less and less popular because really, I remember the gun was really not that good.
Well, the gun's okay. It's just the reload. I mean, the reload is just it's so long.
Yeah, it's long, and I mean the penetration is also not good anyway. I mean a lot of mediums don't have really good penetration, but I think TVP feels a bit more evident in the lack of penetration that the shell has. So it's interesting to see how Aaron is going to work with this tank, but it really requires a lot of skill to make it work.
It does, and as I said, I'm a bit surprised that they're running it singularly, but there we go. And now here we have Tank Pro in 57 pixels, both in a light and a medium, rushing to that decap, and look at Milkshake there, and and who is it behind him? Where GG?
Tank Pro.
Wow.
I never see a Vic's like spotting with this method. Tank Pro, really is trying to be really aggressive, spotting near D, and got a lot of RN tanks spotted, and they know where RN tanks are. They could secure that D cap, so that they are now going to have a cap in here. Well done to our E7 here.
And that is crucial on this map. Getting that early cap point is crucial because the B and the C cap are notoriously difficult to take from the opposite ends. So you can see here the world of the mouse is backing off. He was looking at the C cap, but ironically, they didn't take the B cap. So neither team went for the middle caps, and now RN are effectively on the back foot with regard to caps.
Yes, but RN, I think they are the team with the best. No, not it's E7 is the highest win rate on Canal. But I saw before RN can do really well with a rotation. They can communicate really well, but trying to get B, this is going to be interesting. But it's not totally out of the question.
Yeah, I mean E7 need to reset it, and they did. I mean that's crucial because they all. I mean E7. At the moment, they don't need to do anything other than just reset those caps. And they've got the high ground, and they've got the positioning to see both those caps and reset both those caps. Whereas RN, had RN taken the C cap and the A cap in a timely fashion, then yes, Alpha CK and the 50B right at the back there would have made a big difference. But all E7 need to do is force and put the pressure on cap-wise, force RN to do the pushing.
Yep, and we know RN can do the job, but how are they going to approach it here? And also, we're talking about 3 cap wins per 2 seconds for both teams. So if RN needs to make a move absolutely at 800 cap points, we're talking about more than 1 minute to go for RN to chip enough hit points away from E7. So that's still a lot of time for RN.
Yeah, I mean, but again, they've got to get there. And if you have a look at the way that E7 have lined up and positioned themselves, the C cap is pretty much covered. And so is the B cap. I mean, the only way that RN are going to steal those cap points is if they go en masse into one of the caps. They're better off trying to take tanks out than trying to get a cap. It's going to be very difficult for them. And as you can see, the points are ticking over ever so slowly in favour of E7. RN do need to make a move.
I mean, they still have more than 2 minutes to go, so RN, I think what I want them to do is chip enough hit points away from E7. And as you said, definitely this map, and I think all of the maps, in my opinion, definitely better to go for a rotation first to get the kills, rather than to go en masse onto the caps, because this is exactly what the defending team is trying to do here. I mean, E7 really positioning themselves, looking at both B and C, and it will be very hard for RN to get both B and C, especially for C, because C is closer to where E7 tanks are. So RN, I think, they need to find a way to push, and they would need to coordinate it well.
Well, we're now at 600 points for E7. RN are starting to move their tanks around. It looks like they're going for the C cap, with off meeting 0 people in I Am Bread tank in the Yo's coming up to join the World, who's sat there in the Mouse. That looks like it probably will be a push into the C cap area.
Or maybe they're trying to get Tank Pro off the way, so Tank Pro has to be really mindful of spotting in this area of RN. If Tank Pro hesitates slightly, it could go very, very south for him.
But Tank Pro is lined up to just run away. I mean, he was facing in the direction, even though his turret was facing in the opposite direction.
Yeah, he knows that RN has stacked up near.
Oh boy, Kickshaw chasing down Tank Pro and really getting pummeled there in the crossfire.
E7 expected that to happen. Well done to E7, they really predicted RN to stack up near their own spawn. And looking at where E7 guns are looking at, RN, they will have a hard time getting this rotation to work.
They're not pushing the C, they're pushing round towards Tank Pro. 57 pixels and Nuggets in Fries there in the T22 and the AMX-50.
Tank Pro getting shut down. Yeah,
he
RN
has got
trying
to get safe.
Yep, but Alpha misses 2 of the shells onto Tank Pro. Tank Pro still alive.
Look at this crossfire into off meeting 0 people. Down he goes. That is great move, great positioning by E7. Now Kickshaw in a world of pain also.
Yep, and now both RN and E7 have got the caps of B and C, but it seems E7 are doing better with the kind of the positioning, and they're looking to get Ploy Kickshaw next, where GG and Tempo teeing up on Alpha, and this looks pretty good.
Alpha CK probably going to go down here. Down he goes. Kickshaw goes down as well. This is where the TVP is going to... Oh, he manages to take out Nuggets, but 57 Pickles rams into oblivion.
Yep, and E7 only around 20 cap points to go. They only need 1 more kill, or they could just wait. But both teams are trying to cap one another's spaces, so it's going to be a bit of a break here. But then when it goes down, it's over. E7 got it.
I mean, it was an interesting move, I must admit, by RN trying to go down that line, but the way E7 had already positioned their tanks, they were anticipating it. To be honest with you,
I think what went wrong for RN is that they sent one tank to chase down Tank Pro, and that gave the information for RN for them to defend RN spawn immediately. And RN, despite they were trying to rotate from that area, they can't really do that. It was already well guarded by E7, and they're struggling to get the tanks out of the way. And also E7 reacted very quickly to get B more quickly than RN getting C.
Yes.
So I think E7 they defended brilliantly here.
And as we say on this map all the time, I mean, if you've got the cap point advantage, you really do put the pressure on the other side. And E7, all they needed to do was wait for RN to make a move. And their positioning, I have to keep going back to that, the way they positioned their tanks, they had almost every single corner covered. And RN made their move down that corner, chasing down the Vickers. Excuse me. And just got absolutely pummeled as they moved across.
Yeah, I think they were also kind of hesitating with that rotation here, and they were not really organizing well in terms of how they are going to go about with that rotation. I mean, it allowed time for E7 to make a push. I would have actually favored if actually RN went sent some tanks down the canal, like down the middle area, the valley here, to surprise E7 into thinking that RN might be rotating back to the spot, but in fact they have some tanks down the canal. I think that could have done a lot. That could have fared a lot more differently for RN in this case. But we are now into the second match.
We are, and are we going to see a different RN?
We hope so. And I mean, they have been training on this map for a lot of times. they know how to rotate, but I think the last match they were just a bit surprised at how well E7 was defending. So let's see whether Aaron's going to get a cap like this time, or is it going to be E7?
Well, the exception of no Devos in an IS7, the rest of RN have doubled up. Double 50B, double Yo, double TVPs. And we're going to be rolling out with the TVPs here, watching as they push heavily into that decap.
Oh, I think Aaron tries to replicate the magic from that Vegas like last time of E7, but Aaron looking to get Tank Pro out of the way. The focus flight is on Tank Pro now, down to 1 shot.
But the thing is...
Oh dear, Aaron might have the advantage here. Sorry.
The thing is, those TVPs put a lot of DPM down very quickly, but as I said, they've got very weak armor and a very long reload, and now the advantage is moved to E7. It's the momentum of the move is moved from RN to E7. Here comes the world in Kickshaw though, in the Yos, both playing the double shot, however.
And also interesting to see how E7's double 50Bs have positioned themselves here. They're actually setting deep behind. This is something that I don't recommend in Clan Wars, because that would allow RN to push onto these 4 tanks here. But we don't know. E7 may have a good idea here, but they have to play it really carefully.
Down goes Kickshaw. The double shot Yo has a really long reload. There goes off meeting 0 people. So where GG and 57 pixels are 1 shots for E7, however. But with all these clippers being rolled out by RN, they do sacrifice DPM to an extent.
Yep. And they're now trying to take out Milkshake, at which they did. Wild is going to be killed by Nuggies and Fries, and it's now going to be a 3 versus 5 for RN. And Nuggies and Fries could go down soon, but RN Clippers are now on a strong lead.
This is the downside of taking so many clippers. It's great initial DPM, but then you've got big reloads. And as you can see here, that's really what hurt RN. The TVPs did a great move, but as soon as they had shot out, they were unbelievably vulnerable.
Right. And I would say the main problem for RN, they allowed themselves to get farmed by those, well, I'm not sure if they got farmed by those 50Bs of E7 sitting very deep at the back. I mean, they've done more than 4,000 damage in total. I think RN, the hesitation, this time they are even more hesitant. I think they were given the information that they have numerical advantage over to the D side. They didn't really capitalize on that day, and E7 really punished them hard and got the focus fire and took out the tank one by one.
Well, that's
well done too.
That's the thing. I mean, if you go back and look at it, I mean, the TVPs got to the D cap and went through the D cap very quickly, but the Yos are a lot slower, and the Yos took their time to get there. And again, you know, I hate to say this, but running a double shot, running 2 Yos, both with double shot, really puts you at a slight advantage. And you'll see a lot of the clans, especially on, say, EU, if they're going to run a double Yo, one will have a 3 shot, one will have a 2 shot. So it's sort of
2 after 2-3 shots.
Yeah, because it's a much faster reload. You sacrifice that big 900 double shot roll, but you get better reload, and you also get the comfort of you've got an extra shot in there to put some pain down there. So with those Yos taking so long to turn up, the TVPs emptied their clips, and they were going past the Yos before the Yos even got to the D cap. And by then, E7 were able to come in and punish the Yos as well. So it sort of went downhill a little bit for RN.
Yeah, and now Mayan Ruins is a totally different map. I mean, it's a lot more heavy oriented. So that could actually benefit RN potentially. And let's see if E7 can continue that momentum they've created. The Canal matches, they were very dominant in those 2 matches.
Well, we're seeing 2 IS4s and 2 113s rolling out here for RN. That's an interesting call. 113's great tank. great DPM, but let's be honest, not got the best of armor. Pull down on its full.
That being said, though, I do see a lot more 1-3s these days ever since the heavy buff. So interesting. I mean, 1-3 definitely with the gun. I really love the gun.
The gun's great.
Yeah, the gun is great. The forward mobility is also brilliant, and Tank Pro is getting chased down by those 1-3s at the moment.
Yeah, and they can do that because they're really fast.
Yeah.
The biggest downside is obviously the turret rotation. It's incredibly slow.
And the traverse speed was the slowest, I believe.
It is the slowest.
Yeah.
And if you get them in the wrong position, as I said, I mean, the lower hull is very, as you can see there, easily penned. But the turret can be rock solid.
Yep. And we're now see. Oh, already Aaron making a big push onto Milkshake. Now Milkshake down to one shot. Will we take it now? I didn't see that coming. Did you see that?
No, I did not see that coming either. I didn't expect the big push from the AMXs there. I expected them to be holding fire, but look at Alpha CK and Apex Predator chasing down Max Drive here.
Yeah, this is totally unexpected, and RN really changing the style of gameplay here. This match easily really caught off guard here. Max is now dead as well, and it's now 5 versus 6. RN with a huge hit-on-put advantage with that push.
And the other 1-1-3 of off meeting 0 people in a world of pain here. Down he goes. So even Stevens again on the tanks, but look at the hit point deficit between the two. 2,000 points up by RN. Apex Predator in the IS-4 incredibly healthy. And Kickshaw coming out. Where GG? Well,
bounce.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a kill for the world here, so the world will be saying thank you to Ploy Kickshaw for that kill, and Nuggies and Bryce will be killed by Apex Predator. But Tank Pro can be a nuisance here, putting some great shots into the world.
Oh, I am Bread Tank going down. I'm still surprised at Alpha CK, how he's managed to survive, but he managed to survive, and now he's gone down, but he did manage to survive, and it was a big push through the other way. At Kickshaw in the IS-4 and Apex Predator still incredibly healthy.
Yeah, or shall we say, Alpha CK used to survive.
Yeah. No, great stuff considering his push.
Yeah. And we're seeing 1 versus 1 for Ploy Kickshaw and Hexos here, but Hexos will go down to Ironsport. Apex coming to support our Ploy Kickshaw. Ploy Kickshaw killing off Hexos here, leaving Tank Pro the last person standing. What a turnaround for RN. I really didn't expect them to make a big push. It reminds me of RN back in the spring season, definitely.
But that was clever play by RN. I mean, sending those 1-1-3s up to where they sent them. Okay, they were sort of sacrificed, but it gave them the knowledge that a lot of tanks were going to see and around the middle area, allowing them to push down on that heavy lane by the ACAP. Boy, did they do it in style. They absolutely mullered those Yos.
Yeah, and I mean, what we're seeing right now, Tank Pro is trying to have the game lost as long as possible. I think trying to wear RN down in this situation. So we could see a few minutes with no stuff happening potentially, because only RN managed to capture C, and they're now trying to capture B, but they're still on around 400 cap points, so even they capture B, so that will only mean 10 cap points per 2 seconds increase, so they're still
I think
like
Tank Pro,
100 seconds. What a minute to go.
I think Tank Pro is looking to get that mouse out of the game. The mouse is a one-shot if he can land it.
Yep.
But now he's been spotted.
Potentially, yes. Needed that kill. Can't afford to bounce.
Oh, what a shot!
Successful indeed.
Now that does help his cause slightly, but now he's got to try and find Ploy Kickshaw. I mean, we and everybody on the stream can see where Ploy Kickshaw is. Tank Pro can only now see where he is.
Yeah. Oh, Apex missed that shot, but I suppose Tank Pro might be trapped now, so he has to run away. Can he do so? That's a $1 million question here.
Ploy Kickshaw, though, is a two-shot.
Yep. And we're talking about a minute to go before RM wins this one by caps. Tank Crow, can he land another kill shot here to even things up? There's still chance.
Well, unless he ammo racks him, he can't kill him because the deployed kick short is a 2-shot on the 500 on 514 HP. Tank Pro is a 1-shot and he bounced and died. So great little game though. Great little game.
Yeah. And RN getting one back, and I do think RN does really well with rushes. That's what I see from RN. That was such a great game from them. 7 kills in total for those tanks, doing more than 2,000 damage. But E7, I think they really got caught off guard when that push happened, and they were only able to have 3 tanks doing more than 2,000.
As I said, I think that was a clever move. I think the 113s were sent there kind of sacrificial, kind of trying to get those spots. Did their job. Yeah, baited basically. Did their job spectacularly well. Sent the information to the rest of the team. You can now push down that heavy line, which they did, and close down E7. Very good stuff by RN. Come on, RN, we want more of that.
Yeah, we want more of that, definitely. And this is what they're good at, I have to say. And Woods just spammed my chat with the instructions. Oh my goodness me. Anyway, I digress. Triple 50Bs this time from our end. I've pretty much paying homage to what ID did, which didn't quite work out in the end. But interesting to see. My Ruins is a map that we do see a lot of clippers on. I'm not sure if I'm grammatically correct. Anyway, so what do you think is the main reason the team's putting a lot of clippers on My Ruins?
Because, I mean, it's got a lot of... The terrain allows for these haul-down tanks, and it allows you to get into cover quite easily. Especially if you're looking to dominate that mid... on any of those areas. I mean, consider where the C cap is. You've got to get up to it, which from any angle. The A cap, very rarely anybody goes there unless they're an E100 or a mouse or anything like that. And then you've got the B cap. So clippers is always an interesting one for this map because of the terrain and what it allows you to do.
And also the long and narrow corridors near A as
Correct.
well can really assassinate the tank if that tank gets isolated. As we saw last match, those tanks near B got brutalized by RN's clippers, and there's so much you could do with the clippers on this map, so we're going to be seeing both teams putting a lot of clippers.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, prior to its nerf, you normally see quite a few Kranwagens on this map, using its all-down capability and its fantastic gun depression. Whereas, you know, the clippers now, and you can see here, RN are moving up to that A lane with Alpha CK and Iron Bread Tank in the 50Bs, looking to get there quickly into positions.
Nuggies and Fries waiting.
And this is where they can put the damage in. But look at Alpha CK. And this is the problem when you've got the tank like the AMX. If you're not hauled down, that lower plate is very easy to pen.
We're also seeing another move from Aaron trying to get Temple and also Tank Pro out of the way, but this has descended into a brawl fest here.
Well, no Diva lost a shed load of hit points courtesy of those Yos. And no Diva's not going to last. But nor is Milkshake. So, you know, both teams losing a tank.
Oh my goodness me! Off-beating put a big HE shell into the backside of off-beating.
Yes, he did.
Nuggets and Fries, and that tank just evaporated out of the systems.
And it will. I mean, you know, it's a great tank, but Max Drive is now feeling the pain. Down he goes. So.
And yeah, this is. I mean, the 50Bs, the back. The rear armor is very juicy.
But the thing is, I mean, whilst RN they were up, but they've just lost another tank. Look at the hit point deficit. I mean, the world here is going to go down to Tank Pro.
Yeah.
And the deficit on the hit points is huge. And this is the thing. I mean, they need to close down these tanks, and Bread Tank's going to get closed down. Apex Predator can't do anything about that. It's 3 against 2. Alpha CK is on 100 HP. So Apex Predator's got to do all the work.
Yeah, now and bounce once again. Apex bouncing onto WGG with E7 a lot more hit points. Alpha being killed by Pexus, leaving Apex Predator the last man standing. I think initially the 50B just overpeaked, and that kind of shook the confidence of RN a little bit.
And I think 2 things happened there. I think firstly, you're right. I think he overpeaked. But I think also, I don't think RN expected them to be going up that lane with that lineup. I think RN was anticipating they were going for a BC strat, and they weren't.
Yeah.
Because I think E7 just read RN's tanks and thought, no, they are not going to see with those tanks. You know, you've got 260 TPs, an IS7 and E100. They're not going to the C cap.
And I mean, you also see like RN, pretty much those heavy tanks kind of running around E7. They have to go a long distance to get the tanks away. Meanwhile, E7, they prioritized their focus fire pretty nicely, and they took tanks that are a lot closer to them. I think that also meant that E7 has a higher efficiency than RN in taking tanks out.
Yeah, and that was the thing. You know, this is what we say to people when we're sort of, you know, doing our videos. Guys, you've got to read the lineups, and the pros read the lineups as well. They have a strat, but they still read the lineups, even though they have a strat, because then they can anticipate where the enemy is going and adapt. What they would have seen here, they would have seen RN's lineup and thought, most of those tanks are not going to be going to that C-cap area. So we need to dominate the middle and possibly... And if you noticed, E7 did not push up the A side. They howled the middle area. And those 60 TPs came in and got absolutely wrecked by the O's. And that is clever play by E7 in reading the map, reading what RN were going to do.
Yeah. And some clans, some top teams would literally ditch their original strat if they know that the other team is going to definitely do this kind of strategy. We do see that happen from time to time, and teams going for different routes than we were expecting. Yeah. So that was probably the reason why. Probably what E7 did last match, and now it's a Naval Frontier match point to E7 now.
It is, and you know, RN need to pull their socks up, bunker down a little bit, and try and bring this game back.
Yeah, and they're improving. We can see them improving. They're trying to reduce the amount of hesitation they have in the matches, but E7 being pretty much on top of the game tonight so far, and this is really nice to see.
E7 taking a traditional type of strat here, with their Yos going around towards the A-cap, tank prone the Vickers trying to get those spots. RN doing also a traditional strat, with the 50Bs just hanging there and Kickshaw holding back.
I am Brett Tang kind of hesitant. I'm not sure if it's careless, but receives a shot from the passing M6 Yos, but we're actually going for B quickly. Kickshaw trying to stop B from being captured.
That's an aggressive move by Where GG, and Ploy Kickshaw misses his shot as he came down, but he lands that one. But now Ploy Kickshaw is in a world of pain.
Yep, and Where GG potentially could win the 1v1 fight here, but also receives a lot of shots from the 50Bs from his right hand side, and could go down very soon. It's down to
that was what was needed. Those 50Bs needed to come in and outploy Kickshaw. It was a great move by I'm Bread Tank and Alpha CK. But I'm Bread Tank now is pushing around onto Nuggies, and that's going to bring in Tank Pro. And Nuggies manages to get out of there.
Yeah, Kickshaw bounced onto Where GG, and that allowed Ploy Kickshaw to take another hit. So the hit was still with RN, but they have to get all their shots in. I think there was a big shot coming to Nuggies and Fries, isn't it?
Well, there was a big roll from Apex Predator into Milkshake, but an equally massive roll coming back the other way into Apex Predator, whose hit points just went down like it was going out of fashion.
Tank Pro being killed by Wado, freeing up the light tank of Wotb. I think Wotb could do a lot of amazing stuff here, but with Ploy short and Logi's advice now, it's now 4 for 6. But this Vickers light, you do want to get this tank out of the fight very quickly.
With the exception of Tempo, RN have got this. If they just hold
Yeah.
on, they have got this. It's theirs to throw away here. They're doing fantastic stuff in bouncing back.
Very true indeed. M4 Max going to be quite low. The world looking to put a ray shot into M4, killing M4 out of the way. Tempo still really healthy, but 2 versus 5.
Milkshake is a one shot. Milkshake's a no shot. Tempo's the last man standing.
Tempo do be trying to get those tanks out of the way, but now on the drum reload, down to 1 shot of beating, doing the usual stuff. Not enough to kill Tempo. It will be Red Tank doing this job.
Now, I'm trying to work out there if it was part of the plan for E7 to drop down into that B cap.
I think it was. I think it is their strategy, but I think they didn't expect RN, those double 50Bs to show up.
But they'd already
shut down.
But this is the thing that I don't understand,
IS-7?
Jack, because they'd already been spotted.
Yeah.
They'd already spotted the IS-4 and they'd already spotted the 2 AMXs dropping down into that cap when you've only got one other tank. Well, you had an IS-7 and I think you had, I can't remember what the other tank was, in support. That's always going to be risky against 50Bs, and it turned out to be very risky.
But also, WG wasn't able to cover himself up with
Correct.
that obstacle to his right. I mean, if he can't cover himself up with that obstacle to his right, the 50Bs will be able to put a lot of shots in, and WG will win that 1 versus 1 fight against Ploy Kickshaw. But it wasn't meant to be this way. And I think that was,
No, I mean,
that
it's
was
well played by RN. Very well played.
Yeah, the 50Bs really making a huge difference here, and also the biggest light fight, 1 versus 1 fight. RN winning that fight is also not an important one here. Otherwise, if E7 won that fight with the Vickers lights, I think it could also go very differently.
But can they keep it up? Because there's still match point to E7. Can RN force it to the decider and turn this around? With a display that we've just seen, that's possible, but they've really got to tighten up. And looking at their lineups,
I mean,
okay, they've gone very yo.
okay, is that even a phrase? Well, anyway, I'm seeing a chat that E7 and RN are really close. In fact, I think Asian server is the only server where, well, not the only server. I think some other servers as well. The top 4 clans are pretty friendly to one another. Like, I don't think that is the case for the EU server, at least from what I am, from what I know. I'm not sure about any as well. But Asia server, those four clans here are great friends with one another.
And we got this time E7 looking to dominate through the middle area. They are going to send a tempo in the 50B to overlook that A line, but RN not looking to go down the A route.
Yeah, now we're going to be seeing No Diva getting spotted here. And as Tempo spotting up No Diva, has to be careful though. No Diva received a shot from No Tempo and couldn't return fire. Well done to Tempo.
Yeah, it's not the easiest tank to hit frontally is the 60 TP.
But Tempo did it.
He did indeed.
So that gave E7 the hit point advantage on the Ray GG took a hit, which means both teams have traded equally, but RM with an inherent hit point disadvantage need to trade better than E7 in this case.
But at the moment,
they're trying and
E7 have got E7 have taken the bit between their teeth and gonna take the C cap, which is uncontested, surprisingly.
And that would give E7 the cap lead here. Now they're trying to get A, but it was a bit unsuccessful at the moment. The world getting reset by a negative price, potentially Temple as well.
That's because E7 have put themselves in a great position to reset that cap. Those 50Bs and Nuggies and Fries in the Yo then, the world is just having a horrible time of it. They're just going to HE him from there.
Yeah. We can see Temple now on drum reader up. Well, they actually can allow RN to capture A here, but at the same time, RN's trying to get C, so E7, them allowing A might cost them.
It may cost them now.
But WG, yeah. WG took a big hit from Ploy-Kickshaw, and WG unable to push shots into Ploy-Kickshaw. Now RN trying to get aggressive over to C area, trying to shut down WG and Max here. E7 needs to do something on the other side.
E7 are doing something on the other side, but RN, quite rightly, are getting out of dodge, and they're pushing around onto Max Drive and to where GG at the same time. Oof! There goes!
Yep, and now Max and Temple looking to put a shot into the world. It will be the case here. M4 holding steadfastly. I think that's a word. And that mouse and Milkshake are one shots. Looking to survive as long as he could, but Alpha will look to kill Milkshake off with that shell. It is the case. 5 to 6.
However, No Diva could be in trouble here with Nuggies and Fries coming up behind them. Oh, he survives! Nuggies low rolls the last shot.
Oh no. Even then, E7 has a huge hit point advantage, so they need to
They do, but look at off meeting 0 people who's going to push down onto Nuggies and Fries now. Nuggies and Fries, the tables have turned. He's in the world of pain, and down he goes.
Yep. And E7 has to be really mindful now. They're under two guns, and they killed Ploy-Kickshaw, but they're still a gun down. They really need to get those tanks out of the way. It was now neck and neck. Tank were trying to run away from the onslaught of RN as forces. No Diva still one-shot. Temple coming from behind. No Diva is now dead, and it's now 4 versus 3 here. 4 versus 4, sorry.
So I'm surprised that off meeting 0 people didn't reload. Left one shell in his clip. That could be costly.
Oh yeah.
But they get the mouse down of Max Drive. Now they're looking to 57 pixels.
This is getting really close, I have to say. Tank Pro is still really healthy, but now Temple is now dead. 2 versus 4. I think the responsibility is on Tank Pro right now to finish the game off. Alpha looking at Tank Pro.
That's an important shot by Alpha CK. Getting a good roll into Tank Pro is Wadu. Wadu needs to come around and finish off Tank Pro if he can, but he's got to be careful.
Iron Brad Tank killing off Pixels. Pixels bouncing onto Iron Brad Tank, leaving Tank Pro the last person standing. But getting a tiebreaker, certainly RN doing really well, trying to capture C and caught E7, daydreaming a bit over to A.
Well, at the moment, the advantage is with RN. They are going to push it to a decider at this rate, but oh, that's a miss from of meeting people, or meeting 0 people. Tank Pro now, however, is surrounded. Engine fire! Oh, dearie me! That's not what he expected.
No. And RN brought it to a tiebreaker. E7 originally leading 3-1. Are we going to be seeing a comeback here? That will be such a comeback, and I don't think anyone will be expecting Feast versus E7 in the lower bracket first round. Neither do I. would have thought Feast to win the Blitz Asia Cup. Now that I have jinxed Feast. Let's hope they're not going to go out tonight.
Well, let's just move away from that quickly, Jack, and let's talk about our favourite subject, focus fire. I've got to admit, RN's focus fire has been slightly better over the last few games than E7's.
Yeah, I would say so, and I think it's more to do with the movement for E7 in the last match. I think E7 tried to kill RN tanks, but I think RN made a move first. They were quick, they were in control. E7 was the one that needs to react to RN's movement. And I mean, from where those tanks are positioning, they actually need to go some way in order to get the RN's isolated tanks out of the way. And during their rotation, RN was able to put some more shots onto the E7 forces, and that meant RN had a bit of the map control, although E7 at most of the time have the hit point pool advantage, but also RN managing to get that gun advantage for most of the time. I think that was even more important to motivate RN to win this.
But we have a
last
completely
match.
different
So
type of
movement
map.
was so important.
We have a completely different type of map this time.
Yeah.
Yukon, big map, those 4 bases, but notoriously tricky map. Gets very congested around the middle. So it'd be interesting to see how they work this one. Double mouses for RN, triple mouses even. So Alpha CK's in one as well.
Yeah, I mean, RN really tried to win with the amount of hit points they're going to have, but ever since Mouse got nerfed, well, it is a very interesting lineup. 3 50Bs, 4 I7s, but they use names a lot: Maddox, Maddex, Midex, so it won't confuse RN anyway.
But the thing is, I mean, that's a lot of HP still to get through. I mean, because no doubt the guys are using the equipment that gives you the extra percentage, so they'll be back up to their 3,000. Or are they? No, they're not. No, they're not using the equipment to boost it up to the 3,000.
They're using the extra armor. I think this is kind of controversial whether it's actually working or not, but we will see about this. The mouse has a lot of armor, and maybe those maybe with that slight boost could mean that they are able to work with their angle a lot more comfortably.
Now we've got E7 en masse going to the middle, trying to find those mouses who are going to be at the B cap, and they are at the B cap.
They're pretty much hunting those mouses down. I mean, E7 being the cats here.
But the thing is,
those mouses out of the way.
What's this though, Jack? Those mouses have avoided the AMXs, and now they may be able to get behind them. Alpha CK is certainly looking that way. The world has turned round though, and Alpha CK really needed the world to be with him, I think.
Oh, great shot onto Alpha, but Alpha also took a hit from Tank Pro because he's going sideways. But I think either might have trapped themselves here a little bit.
Well, I think this
but
is what
they are making an push.
Yeah, and this is the thing. I don't know if the world was meant to stay with Alpha CK and continue that move around, because Alpha CK is now in a world of pain.
And Alpha's been taken out very quickly. I mean, already they have a good idea of defensive movement, but I think they did not have enough time to support the mouse, I would say. Ploy Kickshot was so
that's the thing.
Behind there.
If you look at it at the early stages, the world was right next to Alpha CK, then the world turned round and went back. And I don't think he was meant to have done that. I think he was meant to have stayed with Alpha CK, because by doing that, they've isolated Alpha CK and allowed the AMXs to turn around, basically.
True indeed, and now the world down to 1 shot right now, and we're going to be seeing E7 getting a lot of gun advantage and hit point advantage. They're certainly feeling themselves. They're going to qualify.
I think E7 pretty much got this. And I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to blame the world. I think there's probably a communication problem there, where I think the idea was to continue their move round, to catch them in the middle, as you quite rightly said. They've got them contained, and something went away somewhere, and the world just turned around and went back to the B cap, which allowed a big change.
Sorry. Yeah, I mean, now Wotb's now the last person standing, and I think also Wotb was flanking from behind, but Wotb was not quite there yet before. Before Alpha in that mouse made a move near C, and as you said, Ploy Kickshot, was it Ploy Kickshot at the back? Or the world, I forgot.
Well, the world was in another mouse, and as I said, the world in Alpha CK went together, and then they stopped. And then Alpha CK continued, and the world turned around and came back. And I think that wasn't part of their game plan, I think.
No, that wasn't. I think they inevitably gave opportunity for E7 to break Alpha, to kill Alpha. I mean, that was the the weak spot for RN. I think originally they want E7 contained. I think they had a good idea, but
Yeah.
they were very leaky on the other side, which meant that E7 was able to counter Pincer.
Well, that's the thing. I mean,
really
when
well, yeah.
they saw that it was only, and this is the thing. I mean, Alpha CK is a wise and seasoned professional, and he knows not to do certain things. And
Right.
when he pushed out, they would have seen him, and they did see him because a shot came in, and that allowed the AMX-50Bs who were pushing towards B to stop and say, "Hey, up, there's only one mouse over here. Let's turn around and push him." Whereas if there would have been two mouses, it would have probably been a different argument, and that's the thing. And I think slight error was made there on the part of
communication error.
Yeah, I think
would
a
say.
slight error crept in there because they did have E7 contained, and that slight error is allowed. I'm just re-watching it back now. Yeah, poor old Alpha CK completely on his own, totally isolated, and E7 just rotates all their tanks onto him.
There was an M60 behind Alpha as well, which
There
did
was.
come in and support.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that tank should have come into support or maybe absorb some damage for the mounts as well. And I mean, sometimes I emphasize the importance of horizontal straight line. The reason is that if you have one tank that is protruding very obviously from the rest of the lineup, then you say that you're asking for the other team to focus that tank. Like, that is kind of an obvious focus.
Totally.
If
But-
it's a horizontal straight line,
But I would
then,
say,
yeah, that's going to be difficult for the other team to focus on.
but I would say, massive congratulations to E7 for holding it out there. But big congratulations for RN as well, because they weren't going down easily. And boy, we've just had one hell of a game. You know, taking it to a decider, that's what we always want to see. So it's it's so uncertain, and deciders are just brilliant. So loved every minute of that.
And
Great comeback from
would
RN. Just weren't able to get it over the line in the end. Bless them.
and we really want to see Aaron getting their custom clan logo in the game. So I really want that. I mean, I'm so sorry to Feast, but I mean, this is the only opportunity this year to get your custom clan logo, and I really do hope that Aaron will get their clan logo.
So do I. Yeah. But as we were saying, don't worry. Neither of them are. You know, RN are not out. So Feast are not out.
Yep.
You know, we are going to lose a clan today. We are going to lose a team today.
Yep.
But, and we'll find out shortly who that's going to be, because we'll be watching that game. It's the lower bracket final, I believe, isn't it? It's going to be between Feast and RN, I believe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And tomorrow, both Vijay and I will be back in the official stream.
So will
be
Aminet.
following ID and Aminet analyzing. So ID versus E7. Not sure if the games have finished yet.
There's about 30 seconds to go, so she'll be chomping
They
at the
haven't
bit.
yet, but we're nearing it. It's pretty clear how this is going to end. Let's put it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, the Asia streams are going to be a bit weird because we don't have our full team here right now because Peter had to work today and tomorrow, so he couldn't join us for the official ones. Which means I'm basically the lonely analytic this time, and that just it's not going to be as usual because of that. Which is like, it's fine, it's just different. Once we get to the other servers, it will be more back to normal, so to speak. Overall, though, speaking of these games, of course, congratulations to E7 and commiserations to RN. But I found that basically the games that RN lost, they were too forwards and too split up. The games that they won were the games where E7 was too broken up. Because it's mainly been about finding that first target to take out, and then you get the gun advantage, and then you basically roll around to sort of do cleanup of sorts. The last match was a really good example of that because we had one lonely mouse. And even though it's a mouse and it has armor and it has more HP and everything, when you're alone, that lets you get caught out. And then in this case, RN lost a lot of armor very early on. And there was no need for that, in my opinion, because you knew that there were going to be tanks in the middle over there. So this was a very big risk to take. Where I feel that they should have known that that was likely not going to go well. But there were multiple instances throughout the games where that was true for either one of the teams. It went both ways, basically. So that's something that they should/could work on for the upcoming matches, because what I've seen, especially in this last matchup, the team that plays the most as a team is the one that wins. And of course, they all play as a team, but it's kind of like if you compare it to randoms. If you have everyone going right side and one guy going left, if the guy on the left meets anyone, he's going to get murdered. So that's kind of the thing. I feel that with the matches that we've seen, it's mostly teams that stuck together more. That's
I kind of, sticking together obviously is important, but I think the games, how the games turn out really centers on three major things. I think first, as I always say, the movements of the tanks. Secondly, the positioning of the tanks. And thirdly, whether the teams have reacted decisively or they hesitated. I mean, all the games, they are won in either of these three factors I've talked about. If the team has done better in one of the three aspects, then they have a high chance of winning the game.
Don't get me wrong, by the way, with the team sticking together, I do not mean like all clustered on one side. I mean mostly supportive positions. The first game was a very excellent example of that, because we had, with the way E7 rolled around Canal, they had crossfire possibilities everywhere. And it was absolutely beautiful to watch, because every time that one of the players from our end drove this way or that, he would get shot from someone else from E7. And then they went into cover somewhere else and they would get shot from somewhere else. And it's just constantly those kind of movements. That's what I mean. If you stick together as a team. Like with the mouse, he was completely alone.
Yeah, he's totally isolated.
In the last game. Yeah. So it's kind of like that sort of team play that I mean. I mean, you can be alone in the position if you have enough support behind you. But it is dependent on that support.
You're right. Right.
But I mean, be that as it may, great comeback from RN. To be fair, 3-1 down. Great comeback.
Yeah. Almost. They almost got it.
Yeah, almost.
To be fair, I think FEs would have a really hard time here. I mean, you see the previous head-to-head results, FEs and RN. Like, FEs have won 3 out of 5 games, 5 last matchups against RN. So I think it could go either way.
Okay,
during the professionals, FEs beat RN twice.
Can you just stop you a minute, because I mean it's going to be inundated with modding, and I'm inundated. Guys, you have to be logged in to the official portal with your in-game name. Doesn't matter about your server.
Yes.
Doesn't matter about your server. You must log in with your in-game name. Okay? So if you go into your normal World of Tanks Blitz official portal and you're on NA, log in, you'll still watch the Asian stream, and you'll get the rewards to your account. Simple.
But you will watch on the NA portal. That's the thing.
Correct. You have to watch it on your own server's portal.
RU. Yeah. Fujit pinned the links for the RU, but of course this goes for every portal. It does not mean you can only get rewards for the RU if you're an RU player on the RU server. It's not like that. No. It's really, and I can't press this enough, if you're in YouTube asking questions, it does help to actually read the answers.
Yes,
I've been repeatedly saying the same thing, and then someone else comes in and asks the literal same question that I've just replied to.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So guys, I understand where you're coming from, but it has been said repeatedly, and I know some of you are now coming into the stream for the first time, etc., etc. But it has been said repeatedly, you have to go to the official portal of your region, and more importantly, you have to have that window open. If you close the window,
whole time.
yeah. If you close the window or you open another window without that window still being active, you will not get the rewards. The timer stops. So you have to have it open all the time and active all the time.
Yes. And just to say, if you started watching from the beginning and the portal worked right for you, you will have gotten all the rewards.
Yeah.
Right, so
Sorry about that, Jack. Bit of admin we had to do there.
It goes for all streams, to be honest. Like,
Correct.
Yeah.
also with the future streams on the other servers and everything. Just go to the portal of your server, accept cookies, make sure you're logged in and watch through there if you want to get rewards. It can take some hours before you actually get the rewards, and they will only arrive after the stream has ended. So also there, just be patient.
Yes. Yes.
yes.
Sorry, Jack. Back over to you again.
I mean, now we're now going to RM versus Feast. Now, I mean, looking at the maps. Talk through about the maps, but I mean, looking at the last 5 matchups, Feast won RM 4-3, and then they lost to RM 3-4, 1-2, and they won RM 2-1. So yes, both. There's a record here that both teams have been very closely matched. So I think it could go either way, and I think it could go down to the maps they're going to be playing in the lower bracket first round. Those maps are Port Bay, Vladgovil, Albertstadt, and also Winter Mine Lurker. So Mnet, what do you expect from this one?
Oh, well, looking at the maps itself, most of the teams are sort of even when it comes to the statistics of the maps, that is. Funnily enough, they're the most even on Port Bay, which will be the first map, so that's going to be definitely interesting to watch if and how they're going to turn that around, basically, as in reach it, because Feast has a slightly higher statistical win rate here, but all of them are near or above 60%, so that is saying something as well. The other maps, there's a bit more of a difference. Black Goldville is stronger for both E7 and RN, Alpenstadt as well, whereas Winter Marinovka is stronger for Feast and E7. So it kind of goes every which way. Winter Marinovka is definitely not RN's strongest map, so when it comes to this specific round, RN will not want to reach that tiebreaker, basically.
Yeah, and I mean, they don't have a good track record this season, but you never know. I mean, RN can do really well with Black Oakville. I mean, back in the spring season they did. So they have some amazing matches, but I would put my money on Feast if they, if both teams go to a tiebreaker in this situation.
To be fair, as a streamer, I'm always hoping for tiebreakers, but in this case, if you really want RN to get the avatar... Nah, that aside though, I mean, as I said, during the whole preseason and everything, you don't see all the tactics, and the tactics will change and get worked on in between as well. So the map statistic, they do give a general idea what map a team is most comfortable in.
Yeah.
But at the same time, anything can happen.
Correct.
But either way, I mean, this
I mean,
is last chance saloon for one of these teams. So, you know, I'm expecting to see some, you know, as they say in certain places, a bit of a squeaky bum moment for both of these guys.
I mean, last year we saw Feast, I think, doing very, very well in the qualifiers and professional tournaments. Like they won all of their games, and they finished 4th in Blitz Apac Asia Cup last year. This year, Feast won 13 out of 14 games in the professional tournament.
Oof.
Are they going to?
I think that's also level-headedness, to be honest, because Feast is also the most experienced when it comes to this. they're also basically the clan that has seen the most offlines for the Asia server. So that makes a big difference as well, because the pressure gets higher the further you go in these kind of stages.
Yeah, and we've got about
so
10 minutes before kickoff, so
yeah.
interesting.
So I think yeah, the first map is going to be a good map for Feast, but whether RN can continue, can do the comeback like they did last time, I think it all depends on whether they can secure the wins on their better maps. If they can actually win one match out of the Feast stronger maps, then that's actually good news for RN. You never know. So we will see. As we have said previously, RN is it's a Japanese clan, and Feast is an international clan. So in terms of communication, RN might have the advantage. But as also Eminette said, Feast is such an experienced clan. So I would say, in terms of communication, both teams would. I don't think any clan here would have a better advantage here, but we'll see. And I'm looking. Should I announce who is going to play in Feast and who is going to play in RN? No, we're still waiting.
Do we know them?
Do you already know?
Well, I mean, we know who are in the team.
Oh, you mean like just sort of like the general announcement? I thought you meant who will we play?
No. I mean, should I announce the roster? I mean, should I announce the names in the team?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Here it goes. Feast. Bifrost. Please forgive me about the double S in Frost. It was a typo. Bifrost, the captain of the team. And then we have C-Park, Necromancer, Sugar, Miu, not Jai is my wife, but that's his Spartan now. F Silver, James, and Sly is now Juicy. And Smoked Potato, I'm not sure who he is. I need to update that list, but if they qualify tomorrow, we will see their faces potentially. We'll find out tomorrow. Then we have RN, Alpha's captain of the team, the world Apac's Predator, Neon Genesis, I'm Brad signing off meeting Zero People, Ploy Kickshaw, previously known as Tommy. I think he was part of the leading team for RN. So he's very important in the RN's team. And then we have Drabado and No Diva and probably Osmo. So that's all I want to announce for this the lineup. So now that RN has lost their last game, so that means they are now on a run of 2 losses in a row, and still 2 matches they have won so far, and Feast scoring their first ever defeat in I think 7 matches. No, I don't know how many games they have won before they've lost against ID. So interesting. And also, all of these teams have been training with other regions, isn't it? Like, I remember Feast trained against some NA teams, which was only allowed to happen during the season. So I think they will learn a lot from different regions, different teams.
I think that was always one of the biggest advantages Feast had. I mean, I say had mainly because since Maddox switched clans, things have changed, so to speak. But Feast was the first Asia server clan at the time that actively took an interest in what other teams were doing on other servers. And they focused a lot on learning from that, but also learning the basics, the focus fire, the pushing together, that sort of stuff. Especially the focus fire. Like a few years back, the thing that determined who won on Asia server was literally just the focus fire. And Asia server has come so far since then. It's really lovely to see.
Yeah. I think also that there are a lot more streams available to watch. in the last 2 years, I have to say.
Yes.
That also helped the teams on different servers to learn from one another and to improve on their strategies and their movement.
I remember there also being a time where if I didn't stream, things would not get covered. And I'm really glad that we have got like such a big team of streamers now, because it's made things a lot more relaxed. Like, I will still stream whenever I can because I love doing it, but it's no longer a feeling absolutely obligated to do so, because if I'm not doing it, no one is. So that's really lovely, because every server deserves just to get that exposure, just to be shown off, because they all have their perks and it's all lovely.
Yeah. And I mean, both Fujin and I have seen how much Asia server has grown this year, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've been pretty saddened because I mean, I used to stream Asia server a lot, but real life has sort of prevented me from doing that recently. And you know, I think this autumn season was the only time I didn't stream Asia.
Yep.
So I've missed out on a lot of the action. But as I said, this autumn season, for the first time ever, I was actually involved in playing. So. On EU, so it was
also fun.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong, it was fantastic and a brilliant experience, and you know, it was a lot of hard work, but I loved every single minute of it. And you know, admittedly, we were the second team, but we still got into the challenges in our own right. But because we were the second team, we didn't get the ticket because we get the pro ticket. But it gives you a new angle of what these guys are playing that, and it's a lot more traumatic than people think, and you know, total kudos for them, because it looks like we rip, as we always say this, it looks as streamers that we're picking fault in individual players. It's not that, it's just that at this level those little mistakes get magnified by like 1,000,000%, because the guys you're facing are equally fantastic players, and they penalise every mistake, and that's the thing you learn. You really take away from playing at this level. You know, it's just a nanosecond error, and the whole game is different. It's madness in that respect. I mean, Jack, you've played at this level before, so you know. And I mean, you've played tournaments in the past, and. It's
I was
so
first Mr. Old school.
Exactly, and it's so different to, you know, the public games where your mistakes, you can basically stick a plaster over your mistakes and effectively get away with it. At this level, you just can't do that, because the guys on the opposite team are just going to absolutely smack you to next week.
And it's not just that; it's also the social pressure, because you are playing with your friends, with your team. You don't want to let them down, but at the same time, you can only do so much. You're not immortal.
Correct. Correct.
Also, in simple terms, everyone knows how to cover themselves. Everyone knows how to take cover. Like in random matches, not everyone knows how to take cover.
No,
so that's a huge difference already.
But yeah, that's also true. And then on top of all of that, you've got to get into the mindset where you have a job to do, and it's not about doing all the damage, and it's not about getting all the kills. It's about doing your job, going to the place that you're meant to go to, and doing the job that you're meant to do. On top of angling and side scraping and haul downing and getting your shots to penetrate, etc., etc. It's a completely different mindset. And when I said it is draining, it is mentally draining. When you get to this level where real life cash is on the line, and quite a lot of it, I can imagine, you know, they're going to be tense, they're going to be a bit nervous, and mistakes do creep in. And fair play to them. Really fair play to them.
Well, I thought Ploy Extra is... I thought Ploy Extra is told me. I thought I was right. Maybe I was wrong. Yeah, I might be wrong. I don't know. I thought Ploy Extra is told me maybe a huge leader figure in RN. Apparently, I was wrong.
Well, the room is up, and we're going out on Port Bay. And what do you think of those lineups, Jack?
Port Bay is interesting. I think it's one of the maps where you would know where the team is going depending on what lineup you're taking. Because if you're going to C, the terrain there is a lot different than if you're going to A and B. A and B is a lot flatter, and C is a lot more undulated. So from the lineups we're seeing here, you would expect RN to go for A, B, and V's to go probably to C, and maybe sometimes to reset B. But that is my prediction.
Well, looking at RN's lineup, I'm expecting them to try and dominate that A-B cap area with 60 TPs and 2 mouses. But, well, we'll find out very shortly.
But as we know before, teams can certainly react to what the other teams is doing and do something that we don't expect. So equally, V's can go for A-B. But I can't really see RN going for C with those mouses, and 2 mouses might be a bit too much for that strategy.
Although already, I mean, because I'm rolling out with RN, and already they've said B cap. So the world in one of the mouses is definitely going towards B. Feast, on the other hand, well, F Silver, he might come into a lot of tanks very quickly.
And I think previously, from the north side, you can pretty much camp a reset C and frustrate the other team. But I think now oh my god!
I told you he was going to get into a lot of tanks very quickly, and I think that was a lot quicker than he expected.
Oh wow! I mean, F Silver got razed to the ground and was reduced to nothing but ashes. Well, and
now they're going to be, well, as expected, they're taking both the A and the B cap, and now they're looking to try and. It looks like Floyd Kickshaw is trying to get shots into Smirt Potato here. Feast.
I can see. I mean, I can see Bifrost totally freaking out at this point. Like he is not even putting shots into our tank.
Yeah, I mean, they would have known as well from reading the lineup what the plan of action from RM was going to be.
Look at where Floyd Kickshaw is positioning at this point. He's on the boat, and it's a really interesting position. We do see that from time to time on the EU server, but this, I mean, could potentially mean that Floyd Kickshaw, I don't know, but that's could isolate Smirt Potato. Maybe this is the next time they want to go for RN. 2 caps already, leading by a lot of hit points.
Oh, Smirt Potato here, missing his shot there. And now Apex Predator and No Diva are helping out Ploy Kickshaw. Poor old Smirt Potato's in a world of trouble.
Not going to last for long and will be killed. Feast, on the other hand, are making a move, but that might be a bit too slow. Alpha's trying to survive as long as he could. Some flashbacks on Yukon previously, but RN has a lot more advantage here. So even if Alpha's going to go down, RN.
But don't Alpha CK's got a little bit of support from the back there from Iron Bread Tank in the Yo, although it's not enough. Down he goes.
I don't think they're actually looking to support Alpha here. They're actually looking to shut down Sugar and Booger here under a 3 tank rush potential. Even 4.
But look at this move by RN. I mean, that is fantastic. Right round the map, those 60 TPs.
Yeah.
Really catching Feast out here.
Yep, and now Juicy's just really freaking out at this point, bouncing every so often, and Wilder's trying to put that last shell onto Juicy, but it's going to be killed by the world. RN almost 1,000 cap points here, trampled down to 2 shots.
They've got this. Points in their favour.
They got this.
Points in their favour. I have to. Poor old F Silver, absolutely mullered, as you said yesterday. Mullered.
Yeah, mullered, raised, leveled, totoed. I love the word totoed.
Deaded, wrecked, absolutely annihilated.
Yeah.
And, you know, we did say,
Uh,
and you can see there, F Silver and Smirk Potato not landing a shot. Bless them.
I think gnaw is another good word for this. RN gnawing
Oh.
feast. Considerably. Yeah,
But
I mean,
look at the
2
damage
zero
difference.
Damage feast. Yeah.
You know,
Wild.
It's like Feast only dished out just over 10%, well, about 11% more damage. They did 11% of the damage that RN did. I mean, you don't normally get that at this level. That's very one-sided.
Yeah, and shall we say that was a brutal game from RN. I mean, they focused down the tanks one by one, really well. Feast very slow to react. I think they just panicked when F Silver just got thrown into the trash can so
But
quickly.
just
Within a
ask you,
minute.
just one question I want to ask you on that. RN have literally just
Yeah.
finished their battles, so they're a little bit red hot. Feast have had to sit on the sidelines for the last hour and a half, 2 hours almost. I mean, does that make a difference? Do you think? I think that probably does make a difference. You know, Alpha, RN are a little bit more battle ready, a little bit more into their groove. Feast have had time to cool down.
But at the same time, RN does not have a lot of time to take a break. I mean, they just recently came from a tiebreaker defeat, and they only have around 20 minutes to settle down, and that could also and Feast has more time to rest and take a break and to regroup themselves and try to think how they can improve the next one. So I think it goes both ways.
Possibly, but that was not the Feast we saw earlier. To be fair,
No, they just got
smacked.
they got
They got smacked.
we need to do some revision of that. Need to get a good vocabulary bank for the words that is close to destroy or molded or I don't know.
Well, RN going in the opposite direction. They're still sending their mouses towards B, and Feast are going to be joining them at the C cap. Could have a bit of a brawl fest going on here.
F Silver knocking down a tree, trying to cap C, trying to get spots up as well. RN tries to secure the corner this time, but Feast might be able to secure the C area better. But we never know.
Spartan getting into a pretty decent position
No,
here.
RN, we're seeing a boost. Iron Bread tanks trying to be boosted by off meeting. Can they do it? The mouses, they're trying to do it.
They've done
Yes. Are they going to do it too?
They are.
Oh.
However, Iron Bread Tank lost a shed load of hit points for it.
Yeah. Oh my goodness me. But they got a plateau. That's really good spot for how down. So these might be on the back foot here.
Well, Feast are now being pushed back. Now come the mouses of Alpha CK in the world, pushing onto Spartan, forcing Bifrost and Spartan to retreat. Spartan, he was in a great position and now he's not.
No. I mean, Feast just retreated a bit too much. I don't know. I mean, that's probably a tactical retreat. But Feast now down by a gun. Juicy's probably next time down.
Oh, that was a shed load of HP just being lost there by Juicy.
And Necromancer very soon. Juicy's now killed. And Iron Breath also killed. I mean, Feast totally crumbling.
But on the same token, this is a different RN to what we saw to begin with. I mean, this is more the RN we saw in the middle of their games against E7.
Yeah, the aggressive. I remember their first win. RM being so aggressive and so unpredictable. I think we're seeing glimpses of that. Feast collapsed pretty much.
Pretty much the last game and this game, yes. And RN really dominating, controlling the map, forcing the hand of Feast.
Very true indeed. Now Bifrost is going to be the focus for RN. So Potato still very healthy, but obviously how did he get? Oh no, I think he was in the plateau previously. It looked like he got boosted, but I don't think so. No. Bifrost now killed, leaving 2 tanks remaining for Feast.
Well, Apex Predator should go down here to F Silver.
Oh, bounce from F Silver though.
But it was a bounce, yes, but he does go down eventually.
with a ramp.
So does F Silver, leaving Smirk Potato as the last man standing.
Yes, even if Smoke Potato uses the consumable to increase the damage done, it's a bounce.
As you can see, RN are just circling like vultures onto Smirk Potato.
Smoke Potato can't do much but to surrender at this point. Turret flying over, not landing onto any tank of RN. RN winning convincingly 2-0 in a map that was supposedly to be Feast stronger
to
map.
say yes. And again, you're right. It's meant to be their stronger map. RN are not meant to be that strong on this map.
Yep. And I don't know what to expect for the next one, because if Feast lost 2 matches like that against RN, they are going to have a really hard time, really difficult night.
Wow, 2-0 in the favour of RN.
Yeah. I mean, Feast looked very off in the last 2 matches. They, I mean, they were very discombobulated. They were
yes.
very confused. They were very disorganized. RN just simply were able to group up nicely, did some really great pushes, and if they can keep it up, it could very well go to 4-0 for RN.
Which will be disastrous for Feast. I mean, how many times have we been here? We were here last year in the same position with Feast. So expectations are high, and they pack their bags sooner than everybody anticipated. Are we seeing a repeat of that, where they work so hard but just can't get it over the line?
Yeah, I mean, they are also the reigning champions of the summer season, so for them to go out like that, in this fashion, that is very sad.
However, we've still got a lot of gameplay, but at the moment, RN are looking tasty. They're looking tastier than a tasty Feast.
Tastier than Tasting Killer. Oh, wait, that's so bad.
But
Well,
Tasting Killer will appreciate that.
Yeah. Tasting Killer.
So here we are on Black Goldville. Beautiful map, but always interesting.
Yeah, it's a lot more open. So Feast and RN, can they work their positions to get some really grateful crossfire? We'll find out soon.
Well, I've just seen again the battle chat whereby RN are looking for both a C, looking to cover the A and the B cap actually, and that's exactly what they're doing. You don't normally see that. Not an A and a B cap strat. You normally see overlook on the B. But look at Spartan. Spartan here is very forward, and he's in a kind of crossfire trying to close down Kickshaw.
I think RN's even more forward. Apac
They
went
are.
into the position to shut down Spartan, so that, I mean, we saw teams play really aggressively at the start to get into good positions, but it seems that for the first time tonight, we are seeing this type of strategy to work.
I don't know, because I'm just looking at those 60 TPs of the world in No Diva. Are they going to be loading and then pushing down onto Bifrost, who's now isolated, and that's exactly what they're looking to do.
Yep, but Apex Predator now being killed by Feast. RN trying to be on the outside, trying to get Bifrost out of the way. Bifrost is tracked.
That's a bad move by the world, showing his rear to the rest of the Feast team.
Yep. And the only opportunity for Feast to put some big shots into the world. No Diva takes a hit here and could go down to Feast, and Feast has the hit point advantage. No Diva now dead.
They've got the guns and the hit points at the moment, but they've got a lot of low hit points out there. Bifrost is a one shot.
And F Silver's running around, but RN definitely needs to get Bifrost out of the way, and then Necromancer and Spartan, and there is still chance for RN, but Feast, they do not want to throw this one away.
That was an important shot by Alpha CK. Spartan,
I mean,
Yeah, go on. Sorry.
Still with the hit point pool lead and also an advantage with Necromancer now being destroyed and Spartan as well. 4 versus 4 close.
Yeah, but Alpha CK now, he's got Sugar Magoo in a 50B. Sugar Magoo has fired. He's on his long reload. If he can get a great HE round into that 50B. And he does!
It not was not an HE round.
No, it
because
wasn't.
Sugar Magoo showing the front. So that's good from Sugar Butts. RN, hit point pool lead now.
3 against 3. So close, so close. It all depends on what the world can do against Smirk Potato.
1 versus 1. I think the world has a lot of responsibility here.
But that's a great shot from Alpha CK. The world, what's he doing? Where are you going?
Great shot to Smirk Potato, but got confused where to go for F Silver or Smirk Potato. Now it's 2 versus 3. RN still with a slight hit on advantage. Alpha to the hit.
That was a big important hit into Alpha CK.
Juicy. And I think Alpha potentially will get trapped here. F potentially, if we are seeing here, looking to pincer Alpha. I think Alpha could go down next.
Yeah.
I mean, we're still seeing F Silver running around trying to get the shot in somewhere. Ploy Kickshaw desperately holding on to his life. And Feast. Can they survive? Smirk Potato is now dead. Killed
That was
Alpha.
important, but Ploy Kickshaw, one shot. He's only a one shot, 90 HP.
Yep. Juicy missing that shell. I don't know. I think it was meant to put a shot into Alpha, but hit point wise, Feast with a slight hit point advantage. Both teams have the same number of cap points. 3 minutes to go. This could go all the way to until the timer ends. We
Alpha
don't know.
CK is looking to close down Juicy. If he can, Juicy gets out of the danger zone, trying to get around onto Ploy Kickshaw.
Here we go. Oh, important kill right here. Juicy killing a Ploy Kickshaw, leaving Alpha the last person standing.
It
2 minutes
all
and 30
depends.
seconds to go.
Alpha is clippable by Juicy with his 2 shots, but Juicy is a 1 shot to Alpha. Alpha can afford to take 1 shot from Juicy.
Juicy does not want to make a major mistake here, and F is ready to put any shells into Alpha shell. Alpha go out in the open and cross. So this is going to be really crucial. Feast, they have 2 tanks, they have more cap points, 2 minutes to go. 2 minutes to go until
Alpha
Feast will win this one.
resetting his camo. Oh, that was a mistake. Unlucky. Well
I don't say that was a
played.
mistake. That was a gamble, but it didn't pay off.
Yeah, it was a gamble, but when I say it was a mistake, it's because F Silver was able to get that shot in. That was the thing. And what Alpha CK was hoping for was F Silver not getting that shot. He could have taken one from Juicy, finished off Juicy, and then hoped, because the Vickers, I don't think F Silver was a 1 shot to him though. That was a close game. Really
Very close.
game.
Really close. Feast getting 1 back, but that's at the cost of a lot of hit points, and I mean that was very grueling indeed. Now RN still leading 2-1.
It's, I mean, that could have gone either way. That was not certain.
Oh, I thought. Mutsu said that he can't hear me, but it was his internet, not my microphone acting up. So I was not going chipmunk.
So we go back.
I hope
into
I don't
Black
go
Goldville.
chipmunk anytime. Yeah.
Going back into Black Goldville and see if Feast can continue their push forwards.
Here we go. Feast. We're seeing 4 tanks do more than 4 IS. What am I doing? 4 IS7s or quadruple IS7s, and I think it's like a 50B and 60 TPRN with double mouse, double 50Bs, a T22, a TVP, and an IS7.
Did you just change your microphone? You got very quiet.
No, I didn't change my microphone.
Well, you've gone incredibly
I?
quiet.
Am I now?
Yeah, you've gone really, really quiet.
I can hear you just fine, so it's not you, Jack. I hear you the same as before.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, so I switch it.
Me then.
We're now on to Black Goatfield. So there we go. Feast with more hit points inherently. They're looking to go back into B and C, same as RN.
Yeah, but that many
Let's
hit points
follow
is
off
not.
meeting.
It doesn't make an ounce of difference at this level. 300
Nah.
hit points. Well,
One
not
shot.
even that. Yeah, it's one shot.
Yeah, I mean, one shot would be enough to flip it, but there we go. Both teams played very passively at the start, to my surprise. None of them tried to go for fast.
Considering the aggressive move in the last game, yeah, it's passive.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we don't see that, we haven't seen that today, to be honest with you. This is probably the first time we're seeing both teams approaching it really passively, like the EU server.
Interesting rotation from RN here.
Yeah. But this is Black Goatfield, this is not Cam Studio, so I'm not sure why they're really not going for caps at the moment.
Because
But we'll see some action soon.
I think one of the problems that we've got here is there's a lack of very good tanks on RN's team for spotting. And I mean, the T-22 and the TVP are great tanks, but they're not the best for spotting.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Smoked Potatoes is now spotted though. And that shot didn't hit onto Alpha. We could potentially see both teams not doing any damage to one another 2 minutes into the game. We don't see that often.
But
We saw. Yeah.
Kickshaw's dropped into the A cap, so at least RN have taken the lead there. However, they are, as you said, they're very passive. I mean, we've got Sugar Magoo, Bifrost and Juicy and Smurt Potato just holding in dominant defensive positions here.
They're being patient. They are waiting. They're trying to put shots into RN potentially. I mean, 5 all great shots to deploy Kickshot, the first damage we've seen tonight in this match. Sorry. Alpha just knocking down all those fences.
At the moment, I mean, RN do have the advantage, although they're being bled, but they do still have the advantage points-wise.
Yeah, at the same time, RN, I mean, 5 cap points of increase for 2 seconds, so there's still a lot of time for Feast to chip enough hit points away from our end. We're still talking about, I mean, more 2 minutes to go. And Feast have already got a bit more aggressive now, trying to get Toy Kickshot out of the way.
But whilst all that's happening, the world is managing to steal C-back.
Yep.
Allowing Feast to push, though.
Yeah, the problem is the world's in the mountains, and he's capturing C, and it's a huge distance away from where the rest of RN's forces are already losing so many hit points.
Especially Alpha
I think
CK.
it's really the best game to lose.
Alpha CK is going to go down here. He's being focused by the 60 TP. Smoked Potato bouncing, but Spartan may not bounce in that bottom plate of the bounce. No.
Yep.
But RN counter pushing.
Now
They are counter pushing. Sugar Magoo's down. F Silver is going to get trapped here as that TVP is reloaded.
Oh, I think Feast are now getting punished for not being quick enough. Alpha bouncing 2 shells from Juicy. I think I might have Jake's Feast here.
Oh, but down goes Bifrost. Wadu's is in trouble, but the world is going to come in and really help him out on that IS-7. Wadu needs to get that clip loaded.
Oh, big 80 shell onto Wadu from Necromancer. But Feast, they don't have a good hit point for advantage. Smoked Potato now coming in to get Iron Breath Tank out of this fight.
Necromancer going down. It's 3 against 4. Apex Predator is going to be trying to find Juicy. He knows he's on the A cap.
Ooh, big shots into Iron Bread tank. And Iron Bread are down to one shot, but
Doesn't
Spartan will
matter.
be killed first.
Yeah, Spartan goes down. Iron Bread tank able to get out of there. Apex Predator leaving is... Nope, he is going to go back to... Nope, he's stopped hunting Juicy.
Juicy looking to get the full clip into Apex Protector,
but Wadu in the TVP comes from behind. Smirk Potato is the last one standing, or was the last one standing.
He used to be the last one standing.
I think
We
you're
love
right
to
there.
use-
I think you're right. Feast dallied too much. They weren't aggressive enough when they needed to be.
Or more to say, they were a bit overconfident with that push. They weren't quick enough killing the tanks of RN. I mean, RN, I think it was a terrible idea to send a mouse to capture C.
But it worked.
In a mouse.
But
That
it
mouse
worked.
is... Well, it worked, but I don't think that was the main reason why RN won. Like, that mouse would rotate for a long time to go back to where most to RN's forces. I think Feast really didn't kill those Louis Pompou targets, and how on earth did they let Alpha survive that long? That was a huge. That was a big question, and I really thought Feast threw this one away.
Yeah, you've got to close down the tanks, of course, but it's not your traditional strat to send a mouse over to the sea cap.
No, that is pretty much asking for trouble, I would say. You would normally see, in my opinion, a TVP or a T22 in the case of RN to go for C instead of a mouse.
I don't know where this subscribe notification is. I've turned everything off, so I don't know where that's coming from. I wish I could explain. It's been turned off completely in OBS. I have no idea where it is. Nothing's coming up on my screen.
Gosh.
Saying subscribe, so I have no idea. Sorry.
You're using the OG OBS, the original OBS, not the stream maps.
Yeah.
Then I don't know. I think it's just you need to disable a plugin, but I don't know what.
I've disabled the
going
plugins.
back to Alpenstadt.
I've disabled the plugins. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Anyway,
You probably need to,
Alpenstadt,
yeah.
you were saying.
It's a map that is, I think, a little bit imbalanced. I would say the north spawn is more advantageous in getting the caps more quickly than the south spawn. Like either A or C. They just need to decide on which one to go. But equally, because the south side knows there is that advantage on the north side, they would do a counter strat to stop the other team from getting a cap lead so quickly. So this is probably what we're expecting from Feast in this match.
But I'm expecting RN to dominate the middle area around the B and the C. Not necessarily the C cap, but the lane overlooking that. You can see that Feast are not sending all their tanks that way, but they are sending some of them. And Alpha CK already into a dominant position here with Iron Bread tank, looking for those cross shots as they come over.
Ploy actually spotting Bifrost here. They might look for A, or maybe not.
Oh, Smoke Potato spotted. The world is just waiting for that mouse to drop into the B cap. He can't see it. We can, but he knows it's there.
I mean, Ploy actually are really trying to get A, but I think he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to make terrible mistakes here. He's just gone past A, looking to get Bifrost out of the way. Interesting call from RN here.
It is. Alpha CK being bled a little bit there, along with Iron Bread tank.
Oh, I think potentially Ploy actually might have over-permitted, but equally FC and Shigebugu looking to go in, but they're hesitating a little bit, maybe or not. I don't know, I have to be really careful. Feast doesn't want to lose Bifrost in this situation.
Yeah, but as we've said many times before, don't focus the mouse.
But Alpha's been taken out already quickly by Feast.
Yeah, they were looking to push onto Spartan, the mouse there, and just didn't work because just behind him, was a big, good smoked potato.
Bifrost is going to go down soon, and RN looking a bit disorganized. They try to get travel out of the way.
Travel's down.
Okay. F2 is down as well. Bifrost down.
3 tanks down. That was 2 tanks lost very quickly by Feast.
Yep. And Hippo is still neck and neck though. There is still a chance for Feast to make a comeback here, but they have to get those low hit and put targets out of the way as soon as possible.
Iron Bread tank may go down here. The smoked potato. He's desperately trying to run away and get to cover.
Boy kicks a great shot into spawns in here. Feast now struggling. I think they have tanks very separated from one another. The world is now
there
dead.
goes the E100. That's a big loss for them. But there goes Sugar Magoo.
Dead. Necromancer takes a big hit from No Diva. Oh no!
Bounces.
Necromancer bounces.
Great move from No Diva, stopping the mouse from taking shots onto zero people, allowing him to put shots into Necromancer. Oh, 2 against too many.
Yeah, and Feast, only 2 tanks remaining. RN certainly feeling that they can qualify now. Remember that they are now 3-1. If they can win this one 4-1 and they qualify to the lower bracket final.
This is definitely going to be going RN's way. It's not going to go the direction Feast.
And RN will certainly get their avatar. No, not avatar, the custom clan logo in the game. So I have to say, huge congratulations to RN. They certainly deserve tonight. With those performances we've seen so far, they were very good.
Can't fault them. They howled it. Very, very misfiring Feast.
Yep.
In this final round.
Especially
in this final round.
Yeah, and especially the second game of second match on Black Goville. Like, no, I mean, Feast in good form, they would have certainly won that. So I have no idea what happened to Feast tonight. They were really off with the communication and their movement and also the setup in general. Like, they were kind of spread out, and yeah, they were kind of easy for the other team to focus for focus fire.
Well, I mean, just going back. I mean, I know we're going to drag Amina in a moment, but the game's not finished yet. But they misfired. Feast were misfiring on both port bays. They read the situation. They didn't read the situation particularly well on both port bays. They read the situation better in the first Black Goldville, but it was closer than they would have liked. The second Black Goldville, I think you're right. I think they got a little bit overconfident and then didn't do much with that confidence. And then they just got outplayed massively there on Alpenstadt. In positioning that they shouldn't have been that outplayed, to be fair. They had good positions, they had good tanks, but they were able on when you look at the way RN have set up their tanks, they did not have the majority of their tanks over on that ACAP side. So, the inability to close down that TVP and that T22 was is something you've got to ask questions. And again, there's the AMX of, I can't remember who it was now. It was a one-shot AMX that was allowed to get away for RN. These things, you've got to close them down. And if you don't close them down, then they come back and they hurt you. And they did come back and they did hurt. Well played, RN. Really well played.
I agree. And also, another interesting thing I've noticed tonight, RN. They're actually a lot. They are actually in more control than the other team. They are the initiative, basically. They're trying to take control of the entire game. They're trying to take control of the rhythm. Feast, on the other hand, look like they are pretty much waiting for something to happen, waiting for the other team to make mistakes. And tonight, the other team the opposing team of Feast didn't seem to make too many major mistakes for them to capitalize on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So,
Overall, I found it just really funny to see that as chaotic as RN was versus E7, as steady they were against Feast, and as chaotic Feast was versus RN.
yeah, exactly. It's crazy,
It's
eh?
strange because it's like watching two different teams.
Totally.
Like, both with Feast and with RN here, this is not the steady Feast that we know. And this is not the somewhat hesitant, insecure RN that we know. And it's beautiful to watch. These matches were really good fun. You could see this is the potential of RN. This is what they're like if they've basically synchronized right, so to speak.
Yeah.
And I'm sad to see Feast go, but someone has to. There's no denying that at some point people have to be cut from the tournament, so to speak.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed watching RN's gameplay this matchup. They were really good. And it's still chaotic because it's still Asia server.
Yeah.
But this was a very steady RN.
Yeah, I just want to say, as much as I do like Feast. I really like Feast.
Yes.
From what I've seen today, it's better that they go out now to put them out their misery, because what we saw with E7 and what we see with RN, not RN, sorry, with ID. Even if Feast would have beaten RN today and gone into tomorrow, they would have been pounded.
The Feast that we saw today is not the Feast
Correct.
that we know how good they can be, so to speak.
No.
It didn't come out today, and which sucks because if anything, you wouldn't have it exactly like RN. Okay, we derped a bit the first match, but look, here we are. And it always sucks when that just doesn't happen for a team, because I prefer watching a team win than watching a team lose. And I'm not meaning that, because there's always winners and losers, but sometimes you have teams that win the game, and that's why they win. And sometimes you have teams that win because the other team loses. It's a different kind of thing.
Yeah.
And in this case, both versus E7 and versus RN now, it just seems that Feast lost.
Correct.
It's not, in this case, RN was like way better than they were the first matchup, don't get me wrong. But it's more like if Feast was the steady team that we know and love they can be, that we know they can be, then it might have been entirely different. But yeah, Feast lost this, in my opinion.
I can't argue with that. I think you're right, 100%. I think they did lose it, and I think we saw them do it this time last year. The same thing.
Yeah, same thing.
I don't know if it's, I mean, look, these guys in that team are always able to stand on their toes on the big stage, definitely. But last year we saw them crumble. This year we saw them crumble. I don't know what it is with them. And as
it kind
Jack
of
said,
sounds like the R2K curse.
Yes,
that
I was
that
about
we
to get
had
to that.
on EU Wizard.
Yeah, because as Jack
it was
said,
sort of like they fantastically to get there, and then when the main pressure is there, when it really depends on it, it just falls.
Yeah, because as Jack said, they did really well in summer. They've done well in the previous tournaments leading up to this. And they did the same last year. They were riding high. And then they came to the Blitzcup, and it just doesn't work for them for some reason. And I think you're right, drawing the analogy with R2K of the Zerd time, where they do all the right things, they get to the main event, and it just goes to pot.
And this happens from, teams having very bad evenings. That could very well happen to any clan, any top clan, in any server. So you might see Feast doing very, very. You might see, in your opinion, Feast doing very bad today, but same could happen to any team in any server. And this is not the Feast we know. We know Feast can do a lot better than this, and we know Feast can be very strong. But
Also, just to point out, this is still the top 4.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Regardless of that they are now the first one to be knocked out, it's still the top 4 of their entire server.
Yes.
They didn't get here for nothing.
Correct.
Yeah. So don't be fooled that Feast got here, through some lucky wins or so on. Like they've
Totally not. Totally not.
They've proven themselves. Yeah,
But
they've proven themselves
but here's the
that
thing.
they deserve a spot here.
Where did they come in the PYS, Jack?
I think I have the record. I think they've come second.
That's what I'm getting at.
If I
It's
remember
not
correctly.
like they came last. It's not like they just scraped into the Pro Tour.
Exactly.
Because they didn't.
Yeah. No,
And
they
it's
didn't.
not like
Like,
we're in the
no,
Pro
no,
Tour
no,
and
no,
we've just managed to scrape into the Blitzcup. Because again, they didn't.
Okay.
Exactly, and that's stuff people need to keep in mind. I
Yeah.
mean, this is, in this case, it was also RN somehow being much better in anticipating Feast, because their gameplay was just, it wasn't the the chaos that we saw versus E7. It was much more cool-headed.
Yes. Oh, totally.
Yep. Feast actually came third in PYS this season.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then in the top 8, where did they come? For the Pro Tour?
First, they won 13 games out of 14.
Well, exactly. So
That's the
that's
point.
that's what I mean.
Exactly,
It
yeah.
is partly the pressure, and people can have bad days.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we
And,
all know that Feast
yeah.
deserve to be top 4. And it's like what I said last year about Loka on EU. They're always there, but they're never getting anywhere. We're going to see a different Loka this year, hopefully. And then over the last couple of seasons, we've seen this happening to Feast. That we know that they're there, they deserve to be there, they should be there, but they're just struggling to sort of get it over that line at the end there. And it's not for want of trying.
Yeah. I mean, they also have the highest number of match wins across Apac, EU, and NA servers. They have 54 match wins during the professionals tournament, so that's hugely impressive.
Yeah.
That just makes it feel to me all the more that this is more a pressure thing than
Correct.
anything else, to be
Yeah.
honest.
That's what I'm thinking. However,
And that really makes it Zurtke's. Not that Zurt can't command under pressure or anything. It's not like that. But it's always... I remember that... This is a nice little anecdote. The first Twister finals, it was my clan, which was Phoenix at the time, versus Legion. It was a best of 7, I think, on mines, and we're talking old mines. And all the matches were on mines. Which was horrible, not gonna lie. But we had this great move. We had a booster strat and everything. And we won the first few games because of that booster strat, and it worked beautifully. But then our team captain, who is an Apac player and was an Apac captain, we hadn't lost a single game getting to the finals. And we lost that matchup because we kept doing the same thing, because basically we got stuck in our headspace and we couldn't think further than that booster strat.
okay.
And that's something that I think happens here. Not necessarily that they keep doing the same thing or anything, but more like getting so stuck in your headspace because the pressure is so great that you can't think like you normally do.
Yeah. I understand. But I mean not. By the way, guys, those of you on the streams, not taking anything away from RN because they played
Oh,
spectacularly.
absolutely not. They were great.
They were brilliant. I mean, especially how they crumbled last year in autumn season. Then I think this is also the first, their best ever results this year in across all 4 seasons. I think the only time they went top 4 was in spring season, and they came fourth. So at least they are doing. At least this season is their best performing season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
And we've got it all to do again tomorrow. But tomorrow, guys, it'll be on the Wargaming tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, a bit different.
Yes.
Sure.
And on the portal again. Also, then, if you want to get rewards, you need to watch through the portal.
Yeah, you've got to watch
Yeah.
through the portal, guys. If you don't watch through the portal, you don't get anything other than our uncanny charisma. And obviously amazing gameplay.
Yes.
That's about.
Yes.
But you don't get any other rewards. But you don't need any other, who needs boosters and stuff like that when you... Oh, yeah, but you probably all want the tanks.
Yeah, that's mainly the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, you've got to get onto the portal, guys. Portal is everything for getting these rewards. And you've got to keep that portal open, even tomorrow. It's important.
And there's 20 minutes left by the time people hear this of people being able to get the rewards through the portal.
Hopefully, yeah.
But unfortunately, I do have to leave you now because I have a work outing that I need to get ready for.
No worries.
I'm trying to find...
But it's been absolutely great.
I think it's been a fantastic opening day. There's been ups and downs and, of course, disappointments.
I can send you some replays, by the way, if you want.
Please.
Got
I'm
two
running out.
spaghetti aces.
Yeah, that would be nice. Because I'm running out. I'm running out of replays. And because I can't play on PC. That's my problem. I can't.
Same. I can't play to save my life.
Nor me. So I have to play. I can only play touch. So I can't actually play the game on PC, guys. That's why I need the replays. Oh, thank you for the replays.
Time to roll out.
Got those.
I might have a few more lying around, but I'll look at that later. Anyway, thank you so much, the kind gents, for this lovely, lovely stream. Thank you so much for the teams, for me, at least because I'm saying goodbye now. But thank you so much for the teams, for the fantastic gameplay that we saw today. Massive commiserations to Feast, massive congratulations to E7 and ID and RN, of course. And I'll see you all tomorrow, and I wish you good luck with the remainder of the stream.
Right.
No problem.
See ya then. And as for our stream, to see my stream now. Our streams are still running.
Yeah, we've still got a room for another 20 minutes. Because that's when...
Okay.
20 minutes, guys, that's it. You can't get any more. So, I think the instructions from Wargaming are... let me just read them. You can receive the rewards until 3:30 p.m. Central European Time or 5:30 p.m. Moscow time. After that, you won't get anything. The rewards will stop.
Okay. That's clear enough for me.
So it's another 20 minutes basically. And then that'll be it. There will be no more.
Enemy destroyed.
Well, I think it's been an interesting opening day, to be honest with you. I mean, Root Nova have done, RN have done fantastic stuff to get through. I mean, we saw moments of coming into it against E7.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, and then wow, we just saw total domination against Feast.
Yeah, really totally different. Didn't expect that, to be honest with you. I thought like both teams going to be quite close, considering their past records. I really have no idea how these. I think there is a huge issue with that communication tonight, and I don't know. I hope that won't don't frustrate them too much for the future in the future, because they are a hugely talented team. They just need to regroup themselves, recuperate winter season. Hopefully, they will come back stronger than ever.
Hopefully. Hopefully, yes.
Hopefully.
So, I mean, it's just sent me 2 replays, which I need. I definitely need them, because I haven't got any.
Right.
Somebody's saying in the stream, make a pre-roll film showing people how to log into the portal. Not a bad idea. Right, just enjoy Amulet's stream for the moment. I need to pop to the little boy's room.
Okay. Right, so I think I would just play some matches on my stream, probably. Or maybe I actually have a replay from Swarm, so I'm going to play that. I'm going to hop over to my EU account.
We didn't penetrate their armor.
The thing is, there is really no age. I mean, there are a lot of people of different age that can't seem to read instructions. So I won't necessarily say that the kids can't read. Equally, people of other ages might have difficulty understanding what's going on. So just don't blame it on the kids. Just throwing shade. I'm just throwing shade at this point. Let me just download the replay.
Enemy armor is damaged. That's gotta hurt. They're hit.
And I'm back. Hello. Hello, you. Jack can't hear me.
Doesn't want to know when you show it.
Can you hear me?
We didn't even scratch them.
So,
Marine Swarm.
can you still hear me, mate?
I can still hear you, Fujit, but it's a different microphone, isn't it?
Yeah.
That one went right through.
Yeah, because the other one's just died.
Oh,
Enemy armor is damaged.
you
I
need
don't
to
know
recharge
why.
your microphone.
Yeah, I think I need to recharge. I don't know what's wrong with it. It's just giving up the ghost, so it's a different microphone. Is this microphone better or worse though? I can't tell.
It's worse, but it's clear enough.
It's worse in what way?
Well, I mean, the quality, just the quality, but it's clear enough, so
that's
it's
what I
not
thought.
like potato quality.
That's what I thought.
Right. Probably have to mute my stream now. All right. Maybe not. Just going to keep this. Someone asked me which tank will I choose out of the three. Which three? I missed that. It must be buried somewhere.
Gotcha.
Which I can hear white noise from Fujit.
That's me, yeah. Yeah. Ooh,
Right.
that's a great little mastery from Amunet. Well done. Yay.
Oh, that was a kill from someone, from player. The panda. That was good. People asking how many cups do we need? I don't know. I
No
actually don't
idea.
know about the details about the rewards, to be honest.
I have no idea. I wish I did.
No idea. At least it was not in the form of keys. So we aren't seeing anywhere on my keys comment. Or maybe when I announce it now, people is going to spam, where are my keys?
That's always the way. Keys, keys, keys.
Oh, someone got ammo-racked.
Ouch.
I'll see you, Bitsu. Thank you for modding. I think Vizzy also briefly came around the stream to moderate.
Oh,
It seems
my
Rolling
poor
just got
mods. Only had Amunet.
I didn't know how to do slow mode. I have to figure it out next time. Do you get rewards on YouTube? No, but that YouTube does look a bit sus. Because if you if you type YouTube the wrong way, you actually will go to some shady, not shady, but the websites that you don't want to go. Let's put it this way.
You can't say that because you don't know where people want to go.
Yeah, you don't want to know what website you would go if you typed YouTube the wrong erroneously. I think there was a situation whereby if you type www.google, not google.com, you actually get a virus.
Oof.
So you don't want that. You don't want that.
Wowzers.
Yeah.
Just realised
Killing
I'm
shot.
going to have
Killing
to do
shot.
a giveaway soon
Me too.
because I've just hit 7,000.
I haven't-
subscribers. Thank you.
Yeah. Ooh, nice. I haven't done a giveaway after the stream. Oh, that was a great kill. After the stream of what? After the stream with every His Royal Fatness and so on, I was given like 30 battle passes that I've yet to give away. But that was an unfortunate show there. Yeah. Maybe I will give them away during community tournaments.
Yeah, and why not? But I'm going to have to do a giveaway now. I have to.
I mean, like, so many positive ways, maybe we can lose.
Green. So, wowzers.
Nice.
Wowzers. We're going to have to do something to give away something go out now. Damn it.
Another unlucky shot from me. Really. So-
But I won't be doing the giveaway until after the Blitzcup starts.
Obviously.
So stay tuned. There will be a giveaway coming up after Blitzcup.
Yep. There we go. A kill. This. Oh, someone asked, can you get the cups if you watch the stream using the link in? Yeah, obviously. But if you're watching on YouTube, then no.
Yeah, you've got to go to the official portal. And you've got to go
Yeah.
to the portal for your region. So if you're based in NA, there's no point you logging into World of Tanks Blitz EU. No, won't work. It just won't work. Seriously.
Right.
Type your IGN in until you're blue in the face and it just won't recognise you. They will like, who are you? Don't know who you are.
Right. Just around 50 more captains to go until the team wins. They just need to survive.
Totally.
Oh, thank you, Rado, for saying the stream was really nice. I can't help you get the rewards though. It's not my duty. That was another kill just before the Caps tick into 1,000 cap points.
Yeah, that's the other thing, guys.
Someone wants me to play some battle.
Yeah, you have to remember that the rewards don't come from us. They don't come from us. They come from
Yeah.
Wargaming Direct. So,
Don't ask us for keys.
Yeah. Oh.
We have none of
Safari,
them.
the replay won't play. So you sent me a replay and it won't play.
Oh,
Darn it.
sad.
So I don't know. If I've got any more replays? I've got rubbish replays of me playing somewhere. Somewhere.
Oh my gosh. I see.
Well, the thing is, you know, you play to try and get footage for videos and stuff like that, and half the stuff you play is just not good. It's just not good.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't show those because they're very bad.
Yep. Okay, let me play some matches on my own then. Just going to relax a little bit. I'm just going to avenge myself by TPP7 Heavy. I did horribly during the keys giveaway streams because I have to have the YouTube chat visible somewhere to interact with the people. So that means my game was so laggy. And you don't get your rewards like immediately. You have to wait for a little bit until the rewards are burst into your account. And if you're seeing a grey screen, make sure to enable your targeting cookies.
Yes, that's important.
Yeah. European links don't work. I have no idea. You can only watch on the Asia Asia account, I believe. Great, I got 2 shots in. Oh, I'm on all 3. Oh, there we go. On the shrubbery though now. Cootie say, "Where's my keys with a British accent?" Don't know.
See, I've got a replay here. It's not the best replay, guys, but it's a replay, and it gives you something to look at within my garage.
Yeah. Hello. Right. They're trapped probably.
Los geht's!
I don't know if that's the best idea, but I'll try and get that Death Star out of the way first. I think that will be a terrible idea. I don't care. What? Oh no. Yeah, it's getting quite laggy. They were gonna get me out of the game. I got a Death Star out of the way, so it's fine. I've done damage. Probably not the best idea to rush like that. But I distracted like 3 tanks, so that's good.
Nice.
Noch so einer und die sind fertig.
There we go, big shot. Hey! There we go, big shot from that Death Star. It's also good. I mean, I can play while streaming, so I can get the missions done during the stream, probably. I don't have to play it like during my free time. Yeah. Oh, that was a good win.
Actually, I don't have any more replays. Well, I do, but there are tanks I can't shoot, so sorry.
Noch so einer und die sind fertig.
Someone said, "You don't know how bad I want to troll people asking how to get rewards."
Hier kommt's Treffer.
Oh my god, someone's getting, you know,
Zum Glück ging's nicht hoch.
devilish.
Der ist erledigt. Suchen wir uns ein neues Ziel.
Well, that replay didn't last very long, did it? We've still got 5 minutes to go. But,
Yeah, maybe I can play one more match and then maybe
yeah, then we
I'll
should be able to
just-
wrap the stream up.
we'll just wrap up. Yeah.
Because the delay will kick in now, so... I would love to play with you guys, but I can't. Sorry, I can't do platoons. It's never going to happen. Not on PC.
Yeah.
Sorry. I wish I could. I wish I could, but I can't.
You probably would not receive your rewards like immediately. You have to wait a little bit longer.
Yeah, you have to wait a couple of hours until the stream finishes. So once the stream's finished, etc., then check your account in a couple of hours. And as long as you've been watching, and they should say, by the way, when you're watching through the portal, it gives you a time limit, it gives you a time thing, and it will say to you which rewards you've got, etc., So it will tell you. It will tell you. So.
Yep.
You'll be fine. It's, and unfortunately, because I'm streaming, I haven't got it open, so I can't tell you about anything really because I don't have anything open.
Right. Looks like another good win for us.
So if I had the portal open myself, I could tell you, but I don't, unfortunately. So. And with that, I'm now going to end my stream, actually.
Ah, I see. Good.
So,
We
guys,
are winning. Pretty
thank
good.
you
Pretty
very
nice.
much for popping over to my stream. I think Jack's stream's going to be continuing for a while, but not too much longer. But I'm
Yeah.
going to go because
After
by the
this
time
game,
I've
I'll
closed
go.
this and the delay's caught up, that'll be it anyway. Wargaming turn the clock off in 4 minutes. So it doesn't matter if I
Yep.
stream for another 10 minutes. In 4 minutes' time, they turn the clock off. So it's been a great
Yeah.
day. I'd like to say big congratulations and thank you to all the clans. That is Feast, ID, E7 and RN. Massive congratulations to ID, RN and E7 for getting into tomorrow. Massive commiserations to Feast, however. But they will be back. And until the next time, I
Yeah.
hope you've got all your bits and bobs. And hopefully we'll see you all tomorrow for the big grand final. Until then, guys, have a good one. And it's bye from me. Cheerio.